Lofty expectations surrounded the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets at the start of the season, but skeptics appeared when George O'Leary's team suffered a loss in the home opener to Boston College. Resiliency, however, would become this team's trademark. And led by all-ACC quarterback Joe Hamilton and a tenacious defense, the Ramblin' Wreck would go on to win 9 of their last 10 games to gain a share of the ACC title. Notre Dame is always in the spotlight, and their season-opening win over defending national champion Michigan proved they belong there. The Irish depend on versatile quarterback Jarius Jackson, who returns from injury today. All-time leading rusher Autry Denson, and a knack for the big play. Today, like Tech, Notre Dame chases that magical 10th win of the season. The Ramblin' Wreck, the Fightin' Irish, the Toyota Gator Bowl. From sunny Jacksonville, Florida, NBC Sports presents the Toyota Gator Bowl. Today's matchup, a pair of 9-2 teams, the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And here are the Yellow Jackets, co-champions of Florida State in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and hoping with a victory today to move into the top 10 in the final season poll. Notre Dame and the seldom worn green instead of the traditional navy jerseys today. First time this senior class has worn the green. First time the team has worn them since the 1995 Fiesta Bowl loss to Colorado. Hello everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to the Gator Bowl. Tom Hammond and Pat Hayden. Big question mark surrounding this game, of course, was the status of Jarius Jackson, the Notre Dame quarterback, who injured his right knee in the next to last game of the season, missed the finale against Southern Cal. Well, he is back, will play with a brace today. The question, though, Pat, is how effective can he be?
Well, I think the two big issues for Jarius Jackson and Notre Dame is how much can he, of their offense, can he run? You know, he was a very effective option runner this year, a lot of draws, a lot of quarterback sweeps. I would be very surprised to see him run a lot of options. I think the other big question is how rusty is he in the passing game? They're going to have to throw the ball to win some today. But remember, he has not played in a real game in almost 6 weeks. But I think we're going to find a lot about how Notre Dame is going to use him early in this ball game.
Well, we know how important Jackson is to the Notre Dame offense. They were shut out when he missed the game against Southern Cal. But oddly enough, Georgia Tech in Joe Hamilton has a quarterback equally as important to his team.
And very similar in style. Good runner, very effective thrower. And the thing about Joe Hamilton, which impresses me, is how much he's improved over his 3 years as a starter. He's a junior, but he started since his freshman year. And look at the numbers. This year, thrown 17 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. A very accurate passer, a good long ball thrower. He has 5 touchdown passes over 50 yards. This is a guy that leads their offense, and it's a very good place to start.
Very high-scoring Tech offense, which will be a challenge for the Notre Dame defense today. We're going to the afterburner in Jacksonville. Back with the Gator Bowl kickoff in just a moment. Welcome back to the Toyota Gator Bowl. Before the kickoff, let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. I just spoke with Jarius Jackson. He says his knee is feeling pretty good, and he feels as though it should be able to hold up throughout the game. Now, the coaching staff told me after the pregame warm-up that Jackson is really going to be limited on offense, that they're simply going to have him hand off the ball, as Pat indicated, and drop back and pass. They do not want him to run at all, particularly in the first and second quarters. Now, Jackson will be wearing a brace just like this knee brace. This will mobilize and stabilize his knee. Believe it or not, this weighs about 1 pound, and he will use this throughout the game. As for Georgia Tech, they say the Georgia Tech coach, George O'Leary, we're being whistled off the field here. George O'Leary had 3 goals for his team this year. The first goal was to win the ACC. They are co-champions with Florida State. The second goal was to play here on New Year's. The third goal was to win 10 games and to win this game. He feels if they can do that today, that they will be able to catapult themselves back into national championship contention next year, something they haven't had since Bobby Ross was with the team and they shared the championship in 1990. Tom, I've been thrown off for the first time of 1999.
Yeah, but not for the last.
He's proud of it. You notice that?
Bob Davie and the Irish hoping for that elusive 10th win, as are the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Excellent matchup, the Toyota Gator Bowl. Georgia Tech comes in with the best bowl record in college football, 18-8. The Irish are working on a 3-game bowl losing streak, and as you see, the Irish have a big lead in the series against Tech. Hunter Smith kicks off. White and Gregory are the deep men. Fumbled by White at the 5. Finally picks it up. Finds a little seam. Then is banged down hard at about the 13-yard line. Special teams play Deke Cooper after only a 9-yard return. And here's Joe Hamilton, who will direct this high-scoring Tech offense, averages over 35 points a game. Page, another in a long string of Tech All-American centers. Carman is as big as a car man, almost 350 pounds. Hamilton burns the leading rusher, Rogers. White, record-setting receiver, and the tight end is Andrzejewski. Tailback, Joe Burns. Gets about 3 tough yards before he's stopped by Notre Dame's leading tackler on the season, Bobby Howard. Notre Dame defense will line up this way. Up front, Weaver, the talented freshman from Saratoga Springs, New York. Legree and Williams. Weaver with freshman All-American choice. Minor, Friday, Howard. Howard the leading tackler. Bryant is the other linebacker. Then Harper, Good, Cooper, and Gilbo in the secondary. 2nd and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. Split backs this time, and Hamilton to pass. Deflected and incomplete. Intended for Wilder, but Lamont Bryant was able to deflect the pass, and it'll be 3rd and long.
Well, Georgia Tech's offense is very much quarterback driven by that man, Joe Hamilton, who has had a terrific year. That's the offensive coordinator, Ralph Friedgen, who really likes to use formations as weapons. You'll see Georgia Tech use many multiple formations, a lot of motion to try to give the Notre Dame defense a little less time to adjust.
From the shotgun on 3rd and long. 4 wide receiver formation here. Hamilton wings it downfield as a man open over his head and incomplete.
He lost that one in the sun. That should have been caught by Mike Sheridan.
Sheridan came wide open, but looking right back into the sun.
Yeah, I think that ball was pretty well thrown by Joe Hamilton. Now Mike Sheridan is a very dependable receiver, but he just absolutely lost that one. That was a perfect throw by Hamilton. And boy, has he had a lot of drop balls this year.
All-American punter Rodney Williams set to do his thing. Twice first-team All-ACC All-American. And Autry Denson back in punt formation for the Irish. Beautiful sailing punt by Williams. Denson takes it at the 32-yard line. Evades the first man, gets to the sideline, and then ducks out of bounds at about the 42. Curtis Holloman forcing it out after a 7-yard return of a 46-yard punt. And now Jarius Jackson in the green jersey to lead the Notre Dame offense onto the field for the first time. Strength here is in the tackles. Pettigrew and Rosenthal, the All-American, 300 pounds. Jackson so valuable with his running and passing. Denson, the all-time leading rusher for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Spencer Brown Johnson, who is the leading receiver, and Holloway, the tight end. Mark the ball just across the 40 for the first Notre Dame possession. Denson, the lone setback. Gets the handoff, dances his way forward for 3 or 4 yards. Tackled by DeLauta Cameron, who is the leading tackler on the season for the Yellow Jackets of Tech. Stimson, Grantham, Watson, and Tarplin start up front. They'll flop them around a lot, especially Jesse Tarplin. Cameron is the leading tackler with Robertson, Edwards, and the other linebackers, Clark Bostic, Tillman, and Caldwell in the secondary. 2nd and 7. It's like Jackson may be changing the play. Quick toss to the flat. Caught. And at midfield, twisting and turning is Rakai Nelson. Irish first down into Tech territory. 13-yard gain before he's tackled by Jamara Clark.
You're going to see a lot more throwing by Notre Dame on 1st and 2nd down today. I mean, they came into this ball game with real strong tendencies to run the ball on 1st down, 85% run. And Jim Coletto, the offensive coordinator, says, hey, we're going to have to throw the ball more and effectively on 1st and 2nd down to win this ball game. High formation, 1st down.
Jackson Swing pass complete in the flat to Denson. Denson eludes one man another and is down at the 40-yard line. About a 7-yard gain on first down. Jerry Caldwell, the strong safety, finally taking him down.
You know, the Irish have not used Autry Denson much as a receiver this year. A year ago, he caught 30 passes. He was a very good and effective receiver. And the Irish have not thrown any screen passes this year. Now, this really isn't a screen. It's a check down to Autry Denson. But he's got a good hands, a good receiver, and a good offensive philosophy is getting your best players in open space with the ball in their hands.
Only his 7th reception of the season. Jarius Jackson hit his first 2 passes. Draw play, Denson. Nicely played by the Tech defense. Jason Bostic coming up in a hurry to tackle him after a gain of 1.
And also, Jason Bostic, he had a big game against Notre Dame last year. They played in the opening game last year, the opening of the new stadium at Notre Dame as well. And Bostic had a phenomenal interception against Notre Dame, and he's had a really good year for the Yellow Jackets.
As you see, 4th leading tackler, and he has a couple of interceptions as well. No score, the opening drive for the Irish after they stopped Tech 3 and out. Fake to Denson. Jackson throws it right over the head of Holloway, who didn't have a man within 15 yards.
And we talked about the timing. You know, the very beginning of this season, this is exactly how Jarius Jackson started it, with some overthrows. He had Jabari Holloway open by 15 yards. Jabari Holloway is going to come open as a tight end, a little delay, but both tight ends were open. But, you know, overthrowing him, it's the timing when you don't have him played since November 21st that you're concerned about when you start a bowl game.
So on 4th down, Hunter, the punter, Smith, the senior, is on for Notre Dame. And Charlie Rogers standing at his own 10 to receive the punt. Smith's going to try to sort of pooch punt it and get it down inside the 10 if he can.
I love it when you say pooch punt. I really like that.
I'll try to remember that. It'll be marked out of bounds at about the 12-yard line as the teams trade punts on their first possessions.
The 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota-thon, celebrating 20 years of incredible values.
From the Toyota Gator Bowl, Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, and Jim Gray. And there's George O'Leary, Atlantic Coast Conference Coach of the Year in his 4th season at Georgia Tech, and he has returned them to national prominence. And we told you earlier, this is the all-time leading bowl percentage. Georgia Tech with a record of 18-8 in bowl games, 69% winning mark.
Good math. Very good.
First down pass, Hamilton. Down the sideline, caught, bumped out of bounds. Matt Bay, the tight end, at about the 40-yard line. A 28-yard gain, despite the fact that the Irish seem to have him surrounded.
Yeah, and wonderful touch here by Joe Hamilton. I mean, it starts with a play-action fake, slows down the rush a little bit, then great touch. He's thrown 2 well-thrown long balls. One was dropped by Sheridan. This one caught by the backup tight end, Matt Bay, in between 3 Irish defenders.
Sanders and Harper finally get Matt Bay down after his 11th catch of the season. Big play for Tech. First down just across their own 40. We're scoreless in the first quarter. Might have been movement on the Tech line, which would be the first penalty of the game.
Well, you mentioned big play by Tech, and I think that is the one thing that really separates these two teams offensively. Notre Dame is more methodical. Georgia Tech has big play.
False start, offense, 5 yards. It remains first down.
Real big play capability. As a matter of fact, one of Joe Hamilton's wide receivers, Des White, has caught 5 touchdown passes of 50 yards or more. And Ralph Region, the offensive coordinator, who has been successful wherever he has been, very inventive offense.
Ken Flaherty, the referee for today's game, giving us the call.
Please put 10 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock.
And they'll adjust the clock. Bob Davie saying that his defense needed to be patient against this high-scoring Tech offense. They needed to be patient, not get too caught up in emotion, and not give up any big plays.
Well, I think that's what you worry about in the bowl game, in particular, because you haven't played in a long time, is getting knocked out early or giving up a big play early.
Now 1st and 15 for Tech. Hamilton with time. screen pass. Burns gets back the 5 yards of the penalty before Legree puts the hit on him for Notre Dame.
Well, what a nice year Joe Burns, number 35, has had for the Yellow Jackets. True freshman, came in as their starting tailback. He's their third down back. He's, caught 13 passes. Their leading rusher as well. And he has had a very, very productive freshman year.
Former Georgia Player of the Year and a prep All-American at Thomas County Central High School, Thomasville, Georgia. 2nd and 10. Here's the option. Hamilton pitches. Rogers got about 5 or 6 yards. Corey Minor playing the option, getting him out of bounds.
Well, Charlie Rogers, number 3, lines up at wide receiver, sometimes lines up in the backfield. Started his career at Tech as a tailback. One of the more versatile players in all of the country. Had a big all-purpose game against Notre Dame last year, 181 yards, but they'll use him on options. They'll use him in the running game, and then they'll throw him a lot of kind of quick screens and let him use his ability in the open field.
Senior from Cliffwood, New Jersey. His real name is John. His mom called him Charlie because he looks like Charlie Brown. Good grief. Hamilton completes the pass for the first down to Ed Wilder.
Did you stay up late last night?
I thought of that all night.
Late
I didn't go out New Year's Eve. Tony Driver makes the hit, but not until Tech overcomes a 1st and 15 to record another first down and move into Irish territory for the first time.
Well, a very balanced Georgia Tech offense this year. They ran for a little over 2,000 yards, passed for 2,200 yards. And if you're a head coach, you love to have that balanced team, and indeed the Yellow Jackets have that.
Quick pass from Hamilton is complete. Sanders stops Des White after a big Yellow Jacket game.
This is a really good offensive drive. Not afraid to throw the ball anywhere on the field under any circumstance, but we've seen throws down the field. We've seen options. We've seen one power play, and this time a fake to the fullback. The corner blitzes. The quarterback drills Des White. So a good read there by Hamilton and a good play call again by Ralph Regent.
20-yard gain to White, who averages 21 yards a reception, 4th in college football. He had one game this season against Virginia, 243 yards in receiving. First down run by Joe Burns, nets 5 or 6 yards. Howard to stop.
We were just talking about Georgia Tech's balance a moment ago. You look what they've done rushing and passing. I mean, that's what every head coach loves to see. And they keep you off balance with that balance. I mean, again, we've seen power plays. We've seen, a fake option, throw the ball out to a wide receiver, deep throws. They can do everything.
With that exception, the Tech players were talking about how complex the offense is. It's working right now. Sort of a counter play to Charlie Rogers.
And notice how they shift into a wishbone formation with the same personnel. Again, real tough deal. Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, he can't substitute against this Georgia Tech offense because they're using the same personnel even though they get into all kinds of different types of formations.
Saw Brad Williams, 77, who made the stop for Notre Dame, but inside the 20 this season, 22 touchdowns and 32 trips inside there, 6 field goals as well. Very, very efficient in the red zone. 3rd and less than a yard. Tight formation. Hamilton with a sneak will get the first down.
Yeah, they're going to measure this one.
You don't think he got it, huh?
Well, he may have missed by a scooch. Just a scooch.
Well, you may be right.
Joe Hamilton.
What kind of spot he gets here.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get the most generous of spots.
He didn't. He really didn't. Notre Dame has played good short yardage defense, goal line defense, including that Boston College game where they stopped Boston College on 4th and 1.
Boston College, of course, is a team these two had in common, as Boston College handed Tech a loss in the first game of the season. Stretch the chain out, and your eyes are good, though. Didn't make it. So 4th down now. 4th down and about a yard, and he says, go for it. Coach O'Leary telling his team last night, we're the other team here.
Yeah.
And as we left our meeting with him, we laughed at him. He said, what are you going to tell him? He said, well, we're the forgotten team. He said, my name's O'Leary. I'm more Irish than they are. We're going to go for it 4th down at about a yard. Same tight formation, eye in the backfield. Hamilton this time will hand off. they did pick it up with Philip Rogers netting the first down for the Jackets as they went forward on 4th down.
Yeah, and a really good call there with Philip Rogers, a big, powerful back at 220 pounds to get him the first down.
Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Jim Gray, the Toyota Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 9-2 teams paired up. The Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech fighting Irish of Notre Dame. 2 teams trading punts on their first possessions, but now on their second, Yellow Jackets are driving inside the Irish 20 with a first down. Option. Pitch to the tailback. Rogers fighting his way to the 10-yard line, and a flag comes down.
That's a heck of a pitch by Joe Hamilton. The right-handed quarterback, left-handed pitch. He's got a little spin on the ball, so it makes it easy to catch, but a perfectly thrown or pitched option play by Joe Hamilton. And that's a science in and of itself.
Face mask call against the Irish.
Again, good pitch there. It's
Ty Good.
Ty Good filling in for Brock Williams today at corner.
Incidental 5-yard penalty on the defense. 5 yards results in a first down.
Now, Georgia Tech is doing to Notre Dame what Notre Dame does to many of its opponents. Possess the ball, long drives, and they have really mixed this thing up.
They have, haven't they? It's been a thing of beauty in terms of play selection. 10 plays, 82 yards, and a lot of different looks from Ralph Friedgen and the Yellow Jackets. First and goal.
Taking longer than the Rose Parade.
You were watching that, I noticed earlier, and you should have been prepared. Irish defending Joe Burns well on that play. Stopped maybe for a loss of half a yard. Anthony Denman did the job from a linebacker spot. The sophomore from Rusk, Texas.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe Hamilton is very difficult to defend all over the field, but I think as you get closer, even more difficult because he beats you, with the pass, with a designed run and an option play, and then the impromptu play, which you can't defend. So you have to really worry about 3 things with Joe Hamilton in this part of the field.
Hamilton from tiny Alvin, South Carolina, population of 1,000, where they said go left, go right. Now he's mastering this complex offense. Pitching to the tailback who wants to pass. Back to Hamilton. Touchdown!
Oh, boy. Is that fun? Is that fun to watch? I didn't mention his receiving, did I? I just said running, passing, impromptu play, but what a fun drive. It ended up on kind of a cute play, but there were some power plays as well. You're going to see him just after he pitches the ball.
Joe Burns with the right on the money pass. Waited a while to get there, but I guess it got there. Chambers for the extra point. It's good. Joe Hamilton with his first reception of the season. Burns with a touchdown toss, and Tech goes up 7-0. Freshman Joe Burns, number 35, with the first touchdown pass of the season for Tech, not thrown by Joe Hamilton. Hamilton on the receiving end of the touchdown pass, capping that 12-play, 87-yard drive.
Well, as I said, that's just what Notre Dame did to its opponents all season long, those long drives where they possessed the ball.
So Tech leads 7-0, and Rodney Williams to kick off. Levy is the deep man for Tech. It won't get to him except on the bounce. First goes out of bounds. So good field position upcoming for the Irish, who will take over at the 35-yard line.
Well, what a series there by Joe Hamilton. We said he's a versatile guy. He did virtually everything on that last drive. Ran the option play to perfection. A well-timed pitched as well as the well-thrown pitched to Charlie Rogers. And that long 28-yard pass to the tight end, Matt Vane. And then he becomes a receiver for the first time. A versatile player, a valuable player. I tell you, he has got this offense humming. And you worry about that long layoff with your offense, but boy, they look like they played last week. It's 4 of 6, actually had one drop too.
So now the Irish try to answer. They take over at their own 35-yard line, trailing 7-0. Just over 6 minutes left in the opening quarter of the Toyota Gator Bowl from Jacksonville. Jackson hands off to Autry Denson, hit in his tracks. Fell forward for a yard, but Justin Robertson, the senior linebacker from Lafayette, Louisiana, who has been a mainstay in this Tech defense, was right there to meet him as soon as he got the handoff.
Well, Randy Edsall, the defensive coordinator for Georgia Tech, and George O'Leary, the head coach, both saying, hey, we've got to get to Autry Denson before he gets started. There he is up in the booth. And they really want him to go east to west. Forced Autry Denson east and west.
Well, they forced him into only 5 yards on 3 carries. Jackson's on target. Snagged by Bobby Brown deep into Tech territory. Tavares Tillman finally knocks him out of bounds, but a 32-yard gain is Bobby Brown, the 3rd leading receiver for the Irish, makes his 14th catch of the season.
No option plays yet for Notre Dame, but a lot of passing, particularly on 1st and 2nd down. Here's Bobby Brown right here. Good crossing route, well-thrown ball, and then a fingertip catch by Brown. I mean, he has really come on late this year. That's a great catch.
It is.
Great catch by Brown.
He's from Florida, from Lauderhill, Florida, the senior. And Bob Davie telling us yesterday that Jarius Jackson has been passing extremely well in practice. Denson with a quick cut and a cut back, and has nearly 10 yards.
Yeah, that cut back is what Autry Denson does so well, Tom, you know. And remember, George O'Leary was saying yesterday, we've really got to protect the backside against Autry Denson because he's such a good cutback runner. And it's a real aggressive up-the-field defense by Georgia Tech. Sometimes you can give up some cutback runs, but good defensive play there by the Yellow Jackets.
Caldwell and Edwards finally getting him down. The all-time Irish leading rusher. We asked him if he ever dreamed as he came to South Bend that he would be the all-time leading rusher at such a storied program as Notre Dame. He said, oh, yeah, I expected that. I said, lofty goals. Jamie Spencer gets his first carry of the game, and there is Autry Denson, who backed up his confidence by becoming, he said the only doubt about it was whether he'd get the chance because they initially wanted to put him back into the defensive backfield.
Yeah, you see those numbers, the 96, 97, 98, that's what I love, the consistency. Nearly 1,200 yards, 3 straight years. I mean, he's not an up and down guy. He has been a dependable, durable runner for the Irish.
First down, just inside the Tech 20. Notre Dame trying to answer the Yellow Jacket score. Denson finding his way up the middle to the 10 and inside. Jerry Caldwell, the strong safety, getting a workout. Finally getting, actually, Jamie Spencer carried the ball, getting him down inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you have a two tight end, one back situation here, which you don't see. We haven't seen Notre Dame do much this year. The fullback, Jamie Spencer's the one block. Mike Rosenthal, number 79, kind of clearing the hole. Morandi, the center, doing a good job. But again, Notre Dame has not run 2 tight end, 1 back all year. A little wrinkle for the bowl game, and probably because Jarius Jackson can't run that option. There's Jim Coletto, the offensive coordinator, tight end coach.
They're measuring for the first down, and the Irish have it. And Notre Dame is showing good balance.
Yeah.
Run and pass. It'll be 1st and goal for Notre Dame just inside the 10.
As a reminder, we have not seen an option play, a quarterback draw, a quarterback sweep, which was really a big part of the Irish offense this year.
Jarius Jackson playing with that knee brace on his right knee. 1st and goal. He has Spencer and Denson behind him. Autry Denson. Dodging, dancing, scoring. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
Well, he started to cut back, and Jesse Tarplin took that away. I thought Jesse Tarplin got held, to be perfectly honest. But a great run by Autry Denson. Was supposed to start over the right guard, then he looked like he was going to go left, and then he cut back in.
Autry Denson scoring his 16th rushing touchdown of the season.
Very, very determined player.
Jim Sanson for the extra point. Hunter Smith holds, kick up, and good. An impressive answering drive for the Irish of Notre Dame. Autry Denson goes nearly untouched into the end zone. It's Notre Dame 7, Georgia Tech 7 at the Gator Bowl. MetLife Blimp is providing today's aerial coverage of the Gator Bowl featuring Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. Snoopy 1, lucky him, will cruise the skies of Florida throughout the winter months. MetLife wishes everyone a happy new year. You think that Snoopy Blimp would give Charlie Rogers a ride in it?
Yeah,
I mean, he was named for Charlie Brown.
It's kind of like Bevo. How many Snoopys are there? I've got a bunch of them, right?
Impressive 6-play scoring drive by Notre Dame to answer the Georgia Tech score. And we're tied at 7 as Hunter Smith will kick off for the Irish. Gregory and White deep for Tech. This is White. Hit as he crosses the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Return of 15 yards. Go in depth on the Irish at msnbcsports.com. The special section, NBC's Notre Dame Central, features Gator Bowl coverage and much more. With Autry Denson's lead over Jarius Jackson shrinking, cast your vote for Irish MVP. Plus, listen in to a wide-ranging audio roundtable on Notre Dame football, featuring Pat Hayden and Irish stars Corey Minor and Malcolm Johnson, all at msnbcsports.com.
Well, I hope you're going to vote and go online. Dick Enberg can never get Dick to go online, but
Charlie Rogers on the pitch. Goes online for about 9 yards on that one. D. Cooper makes the stop for Notre Dame.
113 all-purpose yards per game on average by Charlie Rogers. You see what he did a year ago. 97 yards rushing. It came to Georgia Tech as a running back, but Ralph Friedgen, when he came in as an offensive coordinator a year ago, felt like, hey, he was getting nicked up too much, couldn't play with those nicks, so said, hey, how can we use him in a different way to utilize his talent? So they use him some as a running back, but mostly kind of pitch plays, not option plays, and as a wide receiver, and they've gotten a lot out of him.
We asked him which he preferred, receiving, running the ball, or returning kicks and punts, and he said he didn't care. He just wanted the ball in his hands. Didn't matter how it got there. He's carried 4 times for 16 yards so far today.
That shift again. Boy.
First down play from the 32. Tied at 7, 3.5 remaining first quarter. Philip Rogers fighting his way. Tough 4 or 5 yards. Jimmy's Friday the 13th. He wears number 13. Makes the tackle.
Very sophisticated offense that Ralph Friedgen runs for Joe Hamilton. You know, Joe Hamilton said in high school, you know, Hamilton left, Hamilton right, Hamilton up the middle. But here's a typical offensive call in his huddle. Say shot to trips right, that's a shift. Long zoom, that's a flanker motion. Scat left, 14 pivot. And, you know, they signaled that in. I understand a guy broke 2 fingers signaling that in earlier in the year.
Dislocated his shoulder, I guess, huh? Hits on the option. And Notre Dame defends it fairly well. Charlie Rogers taking the pitch from Hamilton and then collapsed by Bobby Howard.
And we were talking to Craig Page, the All-America center, number 52 for Georgia Tech. Says, you know, we don't pay attention. I think we don't pay attention to all that terminology. I just pay attention to the snap count, whether it's a run or a pass. I don't listen to that zoom and shot to, you know.
What did he tell us? He looked at the film. He said, is that us? I never knew all that was going on behind me. Third down. Tech has converted 1 of 3 so far. Quarterback draw. Hamilton dives for the first down.
Knew exactly where the first down marker was, Tom. Again, another clever play by Joe Hamilton, and George O'Leary had a real serious conversation with Joe Hamilton about a year ago, and boy, has he played well since that moment. Early last season, he was throwing too many interceptions. George O'Leary felt he was trying to do too much, and he's capable of doing so much. I think he's such a gifted player. Sometimes you try to do a little too much.
And Joe told us apparently his own realization that was the case and let the other 10 guys play some was the turnaround in his career. He's been outstanding since that point when he almost lost his job. Play action fake, and Hamilton wide open. Has his man fighting his way down to the 30-yard line. It's Charlie Rogers. Rogers showing that versatile ability again as Gilbo finally gets him down, but Hamilton 26 yards to Charlie Rogers.
Well, this is a really effective and diverse offense. And great protection by this offensive line. And look at the time Joe Hamilton has had to throw this ball. There's not much of a rush. And because they spread you out so much, it's very difficult to blitz. Notre Dame has had real success blitzing corners this year out of slot formation, but there's so much movement and spread you out, it's hard to blitz against them.
Tech driving again. First down now at the Notre Dame 30-yard line. Flags will stop that play. Ralph Friedgen has done a maestro job of pulling the strings on this Tech offense so far.
Well, you know, he's been successful wherever he's been. Maryland, here at Georgia Tech.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, it remains, first down.
Part of the staff that won a national championship at Georgia Tech in 1990. Part of a Super Bowl team with the San Diego Chargers. And this is a really good coordinator. And George O'Leary, ACC Coach of the Year, as you mentioned, boy, they had some big moments at Georgia Tech this year, including beating the Tar Heels at the Tar Heel home for the first time in 45 years.
4 wide receivers in this formation on 1st and 15. Hamilton, another quarterback draw, and another successful run, and that's about 6 yards. Jimmy Friday, the tackle.
Joe Hamilton talked to us about his dimensions. You know, he's at 5'10", 190 pounds, and it's always mentioned about Joe Hamilton. But you know, he says it's the thing that you worry about is those kind of runs where he's taking those kind of shots. He said he's become a very big fan of Doug Flutie.
We asked, "Are you a Doug Flutie fan?" I thought he jumped out of his chair. He said, "I love that man." Joe Hamilton himself is 5'10", and all his life he's been told he's too small. You play okay at the JV team, you'll never make varsity. You play okay in high school, you never make college. On and on. He's on target to Des White for another first down.
He sure is. I mean, he's tall enough to play effectively as he has the last 2 years at Georgia Tech.
He said an interesting thing, too. He said even 6'3" or 4 quarterbacks get their passes batted down occasionally. What you have to do, no matter how tall you are, is find that passing lane.
And he has. And, you know, he's not throwing. Sometimes short quarterbacks, smaller quarterbacks throw balls that are high. He is throwing balls right on the number.
Final seconds of the first quarter will tick away, and it will end on that 11-yard strike from Joe Hamilton to Des White. And O'Leary's Yellow Jackets driving as the first quarter comes to a close. So that's the end of the first quarter at the Toyota Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, with the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame tied 7-7. Sold out Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, the Toyota Gator Bowl. We start the second quarter with Georgia Tech and Notre Dame tied at 7. First quarter stats with Tech dominating the stats, especially that time of possession.
Yeah, that's a big one. Again, that's what Notre Dame has done so well this year to their opponents.
And threatening to add to their 7 points. Tech with a first down at the 17 of the Irish. 8th play of their drive. And that'll cost them 5 yards. Movement up front for the Yellow Jackets. Well, it's going to step it off against Notre Dame. I thought that
Offside, defense.
Brad Williams was offside.
Repeat, first down.
I thought Tech had moved. I was incorrect.
There's Brad down here. Whoops.
An obvious call. Brad Williams. Step off 5. It's 1st and 5. Now the ball at the 12-yard line of Notre Dame. First man through is Wilder. And the fullback carries to about the 6 or 7 yard line. Lamont Bryant collapses in there.
And the fullback's a good name and a good position for Ed Wilder. You know, 255 pounds. Has a tough time really getting started, but if he can get some momentum going, Tom, he is a very difficult guy to bring down.
Former Prep All-American from Washington, D.C. is Ed Wilder with 29 carries in the regular season for Tech this year. Again, the I formation, second down, 1 yard to go. This time it's the tailback Burns driving his way inside the 5 yard line of the Irish. It'll be 1st and goal, Georgia Tech.
It looked like Autry Denson. So it's Joe Burns, the freshman Joe Burns. A determined run, just kind of kept moving, kept churning. Good lead block there by Ed Wilder, the fullback. And picks up the first.
And Burns leaves the game after this run. Remember, Burns is the man that threw the touchdown pass to Joe Hamilton to put Tech on the board. Now 1st and goal from the 3. Hamilton, the handoff to Rogers, and Philip Rogers, touchdown.
Tom, I have really been impressed with not only Joe Hamilton, but the offensive line of Georgia Tech. They are doing a great job in both the passing game and the running game. And that time allowed Philip Rogers to get airborne from about the 3-yard line.
Third rushing touchdown of the season for Philip Rogers, the junior from East Point, Georgia. And Tech regains the lead as Brad Chambers lines up for the extra point and sends it up and through. Well, an offensive shootout here. Tech regains the lead with Philip Rogers pounding his way into the end zone. And it's 14-7, Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame. Georgia Tech, after a 10-play, 78-yard drive, takes a 14-7 lead. For the Irish, 13-46. Back at the Toyota Gator Bowl, where Philip Rogers has just scored after a 10-play, 78-yard drive. And Georgia Tech has taken a 14-7 lead. Rodney Williams ready to kick off. And Levy is the deep man for Notre Dame. Levy from the 2. And tackled short of the 20, about the 17-yard line. And 15-yard return as Chris Holloman on special teams makes the tackle for Georgia Tech, as the Irish, wearing the green jerseys, find themselves trailing 14-7. Those green jerseys have sometimes been a motivational ploy for the Irish. And let's go to Jim Gray for more on the wearing of the green.
All right, Tom, as you said, it's been a motivational device. They used to wear them quite a bit back in the old days. They break them out very rarely now. But the reason they're wearing them today is not because it's so much of a special occasion, but because Jarius Jackson and Notre Denson went to Coach Davey and said, hey, we haven't been able to wear these jerseys an entire career, and we're seniors now. We'd really like to wear them. He considered it, thought about it, and decided to do it. Tom?
All right, here is Notre Denson breaking free for a moment, and then wrestled down after a 9 or 10-yard gain. Brian Wilkins at the bottom of the stack.
Yeah, Notre Denson's had a very productive first half, and both as a receiver, making people miss in the open field, and as a runner as well. A very good cutback runner and a guy with some power. This is his touchdown run, 6 carries for 32 yards, including that touchdown. So it has been a very good day for Notre Denson, as most of his days for Notre Dame have been.
That's true. Close enough to the first down that they will bring the chains out to measure.
I remember Notre Denson was saying to us too, Tom, that about those green jerseys, that he thought the green jerseys, just to pinch short, were tarnished. The last time they were worn, which is the Fiesta Bowl in 1995 against Colorado. So I think not only wanted to wear them going out his senior year, he wanted to bring back some of the special nature of that green jersey.
Well, of course, there have been times when they've changed at halftime or warmed up in one jersey and changed to the green, but this time the big suspense was whether they get here in time. They have to have them specially made. They don't have them just sitting on a rack somewhere. Just short of the first down. It'll be second down, less than a yard for the Irish, trailing 14-7. The ball on their own 27-yard line. Good speed, and Denson in the I formation. Jarius Jackson under center. Looked like the right tackle, Mike Rosenthal, might have had a false start, which would cost the Irish 5.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, remains, second down.
So they had second and less than a yard, and now they'll be set back.
Yeah, you got lots of guys moving up over there on the offensive line, and oftentimes you face a lot of penalties in bowl games. Jarius Jackson hadn't played in a while, different cadence, different tenor to his voice.
And of course, penalties have been a problem all season long for Bob Davie and his team. So they get second down, about 6. Jackson firing complete. Malcolm Johnson with the catch, but short of the first down, hit immediately by Tillman.
Tom, as we watch Georgia Tech's defense, I mean, they have had a phenomenal year, particularly in the scoring category. They set an NCAA record this year by returning 7 fumbles for touchdowns, and they shattered the old record of 4.
It's really unheard of, isn't it? And it's something that they consciously work on every day.
Yeah, they actually have a CPR drill. They call it club, punch, and rip. They cause turnovers, and then they return them.
Sounds like our meeting. Club, punch, rip. Jackson sacked. Tarplin and Stimson sacking Jarius Jackson.
Well, Jesse Tarplin, number 41, told us yesterday that he felt that he lost the Notre Dame game last year, and he was looking for some redemption. He's number 41 right here. He said, hey, on a 3rd and long, I lost containment. Notre Dame scored on the drive to close the game, and I felt like we lost the game. And this game meant a lot to Jesse Tarplin today.
So Hunter Smith is on to punt for the Irish. Charlie Rogers deep for the Yellow Jackets of Tech. High punt, not too deep. Rogers running up. Did not call for a fair catch and is pounded at the midfield stripe. 3-yard return of a 36-yard punt. Tech will take over, leading Notre Dame by 7.
The 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota. Get the most out of the new year every day.
Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Jim Gray, Toyota Gator Bowl, 2nd quarter. Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame 14-7. Clock shows 11:32 until halftime. This is Tech's best starting field position of the game. They start at their own 49-yard line. Alltel Stadium, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars and site of the Gator Bowl game. Play selection, a lot of balance on both sides of the football today. Tech leading by 7. False start, left guard Noah King appeared to raise up prematurely.
And Noah's arc got kind of in the way there. Well, you were working on yours.
It is the first day of the year.
False start. Offense, 5 yards. Remains. First down.
They get better, I presume.
As the year wears on, I hope. Little guys moving, getting to jump on 1999. Yeah.
It's contagious.
Yeah. I hope you've got some good New Year's resolutions, Tom.
I gave those up a long time ago because it was a joke.
Them, yeah.
They last a week. Penalties all even. Tech, 1st and 15. Hamilton. Wide open and dropped. Pass a little low, and Rogers couldn't haul it in.
That would have been a tough catch for Charlie Rogers, but Joe Hamilton has had a lot of passes dropped this year. He came into the game with a 56% completion percentage. You know, Ralph Regent said, you know, it really should be close to 70%. I mean, he's thrown the ball that accurately, and he's a good deep ball thrower. A year ago, he completed 65% of his passes. He's gotten better and better, not only as his career has gotten on, but as this year has gotten along.
At Macedonia High School in Alvin, South Carolina, he passed for over 5,000 yards, rushed for another 1,300, and accounted for 100 touchdowns. Another drop.
Yep, that was a drop.
Rogers again, a little behind him perhaps, but dropped as Jimmy Friday was covering Charlie Rogers.
See how Joe Hamilton kind of lifted up on his toes there to get that one over the defensive back. Kind of stood up straight. He's kind of lifted up. Yeah, that one was a little bit behind Charlie Rogers.
Joe Hamilton also was twice an all-state point guard in South Carolina. Very talented young man, very confident, very personable as we talked to him. 50% on their 3rd down conversions. 3rd and long here, and Hamilton nearly had it intercepted. Intended for Des White, but he overshot him, and Deke Cooper of Notre Dame had a chance to pick it off.
And another look from Joe Hamilton. Once again, pretty good protection. I saw Chris Brown, the left tackle, doing a great job. A lot of confidence in Des White, his wide receiver. And Deke Cooper, number 1, really driving on the ball when it was in the air. That was a great play by Deke Cooper.
Good defensive stand by the Irish with the aid of a 5-yard penalty. Speaking of penalties, the laundry flies here.
Well, Georgia Tech's punter Rodney Williams, number 2, who was... you mentioned All-American, All-ACC 2 years in a row. Well, the leg extension is incredible.
Snap, false start. Offense, 5 yards, remains 4th down.
That's the net punting, 40.1. He's got tremendous extension. He drops the ball a little higher than most punters, almost near his chin. And he says that helps him with extension. But he is one great athlete, too.
4.4 speed, a 42-inch leap. He learned to play soccer first because his family has Caribbean roots, and it looked like that was partially blocked.
Brock Williams, I believe, was the one in there putting pressure on Rodney Williams.
So big play by the Notre Dame special teams. They'll turn it over to the offense at about the Tech 49. The punt officially only 9 yards, partially blocked. Here it is again, Williams. Well, maybe not. Might have just been a bad punt.
Let's go back to the punt here by Rodney Williams. It looks like it's going to get blocked, but this ball was not touched. He just kind of missed it. Only 9 yards, and as typical in our business, as we were talking about him, he shanks one. And then George O'Leary got on him a little bit too.
You put the hex on him. I'm not sharing the blame.
And Bob Pasuto, the special teams coach, let them have a little bit of it too.
Big opportunity for the Irish. They start their drive at the 48-yard line of Georgia Tech. Tech leading 14-7. Jackson scrambling free and then taken down for a loss in the play. They'll give us forward progress just about to midfield. It'll still be a loss of 2. It was Nate Stimson, the senior from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, and Jarius Jackson just does not look to me like he has the quickness he had all season long. This is a good defensive play, but he made a living this year on quarterback scrambles, quarterback draws. And remember he said to us yesterday, I have not cut on it yet. I think I can do everything, but I really haven't put the knee to a full test.
Last 2 Notre Dame plays from scrimmage actually have been sacks. Jackson retreats across the middle, bad pass, but hauled in nevertheless by Nelson. And then they say no reception.
That was tipped.
Juggling all the way, tipped, and then juggling, and Jerry Caldwell, the man who knocked it free.
I think as Jarius Jackson went back, I believe that ball was tipped. Yeah, who tipped that? It's Felipe Claybrooks, I believe. Number 97, who does a great job of that.
Nelson almost made a circus catch. Third and 12. Jackson in the gun. Now decides to pull it down and run with it. Makes a cut back when he stops short of the first down at about the 41 or 2 yard line. Travaris Tillman made sure that Jackson did not pick up first down yardage.
We got an Irish offensive player injured, Jamie Spencer, kind of limping off the field.
Spencer, the starting fullback for the Irish.
Yeah, again, Jarius Jackson has been really quick in the pocket this year, and once again, number 97, Felipe Claybrooks, kind of rushes him out of the pocket.
And the Irish still have not converted a third down in the game. And on 4th and 3, the punt team is on. Hunter, the punter, back at his own 45-yard line. And Charlie Rogers awaits the boot. Smith sends it sailing Rogers' way. It bounds and takes a good backward bounce. It'll be down at about the 16-yard line. Smith's punt covered 25 yards, setting Georgia Tech deep, but the Yellow Jackets lead 14-7. 9:25 till halftime. Tech leading Notre Dame 14-7. On January 9th, witness the speed and danger of the fastest skiers in the world in the Ford Downhill Series. Tommy Moe, the '94 Olympic gold medalist, makes his professional debut in Aspen. That's the Ford Downhill Series, Saturday, January 9th, 5 Eastern on NBC. First down play for Georgia Tech. Joe Burns. Burns nearly broke it as he crosses the 30 to the 32-yard line. A 16-yard gain on first down. Brock Williams and Johnny Sanders finally tackling the talented freshman Joe Burns.
And continued good offensive line play by Georgia Tech. Their left side of the line, Chris Brown, Noah King, the left guard, Konrad Andrzejewski, the tight end, who kind of shifted over there. And then a powerful run by Joe Burns.
Burns led Thomas County Central High School to a couple of state championships. championships. Takes it again. And behind good blocking by that offensive line, rips off another 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, oftentimes the offensive line doesn't get enough credit. Well, Georgia Tech's offensive line have done a great job thus far in this game, giving Joe Hamilton time to throw the ball, and just as importantly, Joe Burns and Philip Rogers some room to run against a pretty good Notre Dame defense. That offensive line deserves a heck of a lot of credit. John Carmen, number 74. He was he's a large. He was not born. He was founded. He is 6'8", 335 pounds.
And what is it about centers at Georgia Tech? They've had a long line of All-Americans, the latest being Craig Page, who is from Jupiter, Florida, down the coast here. On the reverse, Charlie Rogers with a blocker in front. Rogers twists away from 2 men and is inside the Irish 40-yard line.
This is as tough a team to defend as I have seen all year. I'm talking about Georgia Tech. And Charlie Rogers does a lot for this team. We talk about how many different ways they use him. He's going to come around here on the reverse. But it starts out just like an option play that they've run so successfully in the first half. Good block down here. Hustling Corey Minor there. Saves a touchdown, but you know, it's so hard to defend these guys because they don't just feature the power back, or not passing every down. They've mixed it up so well.
And that one covered 26 yards. Tech in business again. Irish 37. Georgia Tech leading 14-7 with 8 minutes left till halftime. Rogers, Philip Rogers. Tough yard or 2. Corey Minor with his 2nd consecutive tackle. As you see the other bowl game scores in progress.
Corey Minor, number 4 for the Irish, winding up a very good career at Notre Dame, 4-year starter. Kind of slowed a little bit by injuries this year. Fishermont High School in Southern California.
And just recently, a couple of weeks ago, collected his diploma.
Yeah, good. Used to go to law school.
Wishbone in the backfield as the option comes. Charlie Rogers to the 30-yard line. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
Tom, a couple injuries for the Fighting Irish. Ty Good, linebacker, he will not return. He has suffered a hip flexor, and the doctors tell us he cannot return today. And Janny Sanders just made a tackle right there. A couple plays ago, he went out with a shoulder stinger. Obviously, he's back in the game, so there's no further update on that.
Unstung
by a Yellow Jacket.
Well, he's had a good year, Johnny Sanders. Both he and Duke Cooper, who have shared that free safety position, have played well.
Meanwhile, Mr. Do Everything Charlie Rogers has 7 carries for 59 yards. 3rd down and 3.
Yeah. And then as soon as Craig Page, the center, feels the defense jump off sides, he snaps the ball. It's happened twice now.
Brad Williams, I think, has been the offender both times.
You know, Craig Page may not know what's going on behind him with all the shifting and motion, but he knows when to snap it.
And Williams will come to the sideline.
He's got that hangdog look.
Yeah, he does. He doesn't want to go over there right now.
No.
Got to find a little spot to get away from those coaches if you can.
Oh, yeah.
He's too big to hide.
Had a pretty good year, Brad Williams.
Junior from Orange, California.
Offside. Defense. That penalty is accepted. 5 yards results in a 1st down.
As soon as these guys jump, Craig Page, the center, just snaps the ball. He knows he has a free 5 yards, and Joe Hamilton doesn't break any fingers because I guess he's ready for the snap at any time. That's Greg Madison, defensive coordinator at Notre Dame.
And Williams out of the game, replaced by B.J. Scott at that defensive end spot. Now 1st down at the 24. Hamilton retreats to pass. Plenty of time. Completes it to his tight end, Andrzejewski. Fumbled the ball, but it was a reception, and the ball went out of bounds on the hit from Bobby Howard.
This guy's a good story, Andrzejewski. That's only his 2nd catch of the year as a tight end, but Georgia Tech lost its 2 top tight ends in August. Again, kind of a boot, a pass off a play action, and well thrown out in front of the receiver and the defender. That ball was stripped. I think he had possession, so I think that's a good call. But I tell you, this guy's had a real strong year for Georgia Tech at the tight end position.
Returning to his home state, Wellington, Florida native. Hamilton, the option, keeps to the 15-yard line. Close to the first down. Jimmy Friday hit him.
Just kind of finishing the story on Conrad Andrzejewski, number 89 for Georgia Tech. They lost their 2 top tight ends in August, NCAA drug suspension. And he was a kind of a converted defensive tackle, was a scout team kind of player. But Ralph Friedgen was saying to us this week that, you know, this was the guy that really worked so hard and was largely responsible for them being 9-2. You know, not everybody can be a star. He is not a star, but he has worked as hard as anybody, and in Ralph Friedgen's mind, been a large part of their success.
Third down. Hamilton trying to sneak it across. And they'll unstack them to see if he did indeed pick up first down yardage. It is a first down, Georgia Tech. Clock shows 5:20. Tech driving already with a 7-point lead. That was the third down conversion of the game by the Yellow Jackets in 6 attempts.
You know, Joe Hamilton was saying how his parents have supported him so much this year. His father Joe taught him to believe in himself, and his mother Ginger, there she is. That's Ginger Hamilton. And he said, you know, she is really doesn't like to look, because a lot of quarterback mothers don't like to look when the quarterback is passing.
I think they've missed only 1 game, haven't they?
Yep.
Philip Rogers carries there, and he's inside the 10.
But, you know, it's amazing how many quarterbacks' mothers hate to watch their sons when they drop back in the pocket. I mean, my mother never did.
Bad things can happen back there.
Absolutely. Huh? There's Ginger, very, very proud, as she should be. Joe Hamilton, not only a very good athlete, a good student at Georgia Tech, and he's got another year.
That's scary.
Yeah.
2nd and 5. Hamilton, the play action fake, goes for the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. Mike Sheridan, first touchdown of the season. He beat Brock Williams for the Ramblin' Wreck score.
I mean, they just don't have a featured play that you're saying, hey, I'm going to stop this guy or this play. They mix it up so much, they're very hard to defend. Now, Mike Sheridan lost the ball in the sun in the opening drive in this game, the first quarter. He makes up for it there with a great catch in the back of the end zone.
Senior from Massapequa, New York, with a touchdown grab. How many bowl game quarterbacks today will have a touchdown pass and a touchdown reception? Hamilton does in this game. The extra point by Chambers is good.
Again, you see the protection again. Good block by Philip Rogers after the fake. And then a crossing route, good against man-for-man coverage. Mike Sheridan, he's known as one of those possession receivers. That's not necessarily a derogative remark. I mean, the guy catches most things thrown his way. A dependable guy that time outran Brock Williams to the corner.
Sheridan hauls it in from Hamilton, so Hamilton with a touchdown pass, a touchdown reception. The third touchdown was scored on a run by Philip Rogers. And the Yellow Jackets go up 21-7 with 4:26 left in the second quarter.
So what Notre Dame needs right now, Tom, is a methodical drive. They need to keep the ball away from Joe Hamilton in that offense until their defense can figure it out, perhaps at halftime. And not only that, they need one of those characteristic 10-play type of drives, 80-yard drive where they score.
Williams with the kickoff. Levy broke free for a moment, then tripped up and taken down short of the 30-yard line by Conrad Daniels. 22-yard return. So Tech goes 84 yards and 11 plays just under 5 minutes to lead 21-7. Joe Hamilton saying, it was nothing to it. Here's how I did it, guys.
Yeah, 8 rush, two passes. But Notre Dame needs a drive like that. They need one of those 80-yard drives. They've done a lot of that this year. Long, methodical kinds of drives.
So Jarius Jackson begins from his own 26-yard line. Long drives this season.
That's kind of what they need right now.
High formation. Autry Denson bounces to the outside. Strung out well by the Tech defenders, and they take him down after a short gain. Jerry Caldwell and Jamar Clark played it nicely.
Yeah, number 27, Jerry Caldwell. He came in our meeting yesterday, lit up the room. I mean, he's got a great smile, great personality, good player as well. As played all 4 positions for Georgia Tech in the defensive backfield. Started at 3. And his coach, Randy Edsall, was saying to me this week, hey, this is a throwback kind of guy. He will play hurt. He will play any position that you ask.
Caldwell from Chester, South Carolina, where his dad is a mortician. He said, got a lot of cold hand jokes. Jackson. Well, he has a cold hand at the moment because he had Rockeye Nelson wide open down the sideline, and the pass came up short as Jackson was under pressure from the Tech defense.
Yeah, I tell you, Rockeye Nelson's a man in motion number 9 up at the top of the screen. And again, we talked about the timing in the pass game. I think there was a little bit of pressure there by Jesse Tarplin, but he was wide open. A similar kind of play that Rockeye Nelson caught for a touchdown in their opener against Michigan. Jarius Jackson, I think both that knee is affecting him and the fact that he really hasn't been in a live event since November 21st.
3rd and 8. Notre Dame has not picked up a first down since 4:40 in the first quarter. Jackson from the gun. Tech shows blitz. Protection holding up for a moment and now collapses, and Jackson is sacked. A flag comes down late.
I think that may be a late hit.
Chris Edwards sacking Jarius Jackson, but the flag may nullify it.
That may be a late hit. Now, Georgia Tech, boy, they've gotten after the quarterback. They average almost 3.5 sacks a game. They had him. There was no real need for that late hit. That was a stupid penalty, really, on Georgia Tech. But a good call. It's Bostic, number 4, who's a corner on the blitz. Edwards, number 5, is an outside linebacker.
Looked like Jabari Holloway, the tight end, might have had a hold of the jersey there for a moment, too, which could have been called. In any event, it'll be stepped off.
After the play, dead ball, late hit, personal foul. Defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
So the personal foul keeps the Notre Dame drive going.
George O'Leary is a no-nonsense type of head coach, isn't he? And his players love that because you know exactly where you stand with him, and sometimes it's not in very good stead. Yeah, boy, look at that. Look what's happened. Hurried, 3 sacks, deflection.
Spot the ball at the Irish 29. Clock shows just over 3 minutes left till halftime. Play action fake. Jackson rolls, delivers. Caught, but a loss on the play to Holloway. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Chris Edwards played it beautifully.
Didn't he? I mean, Chris Edwards a moment ago was in on the sack. This time he covers the tight end, Jabari Holloway, down here on the corner of the screen. Real well, I just lost my my telestrator there. Nonetheless, but good play, second consecutive play by Chris Edwards. I'll be all right, don't worry.
We'll get George O'Leary on that. Those things can be a little ornery. We need Coach O'Leary to straighten it out. 2nd and 8. They give him forward progress of a couple of yards. Jackson, short drive, quick fire. Johnson makes a bit of a gain out of it after shaking off the first tackler. Tillman finally got him down. Stimson had him for a moment, and it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, and I think the most important 3rd down for Notre Dame this half. I mean, under 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. They're down 21-7, and they have really not been able to slow down this Georgia Tech offense. And so this is a critical play. Even if they don't score, they don't want to give it back to Georgia Tech with more than a minute left.
Looking for their first 3rd down conversion. They have Johnson, Nelson, and Brown. 3 wide receivers. Denson's out of the game. Jackson. Complete for the first down. If they give him forward progress, they will. Malcolm Johnson knew where the sticks were and has enough for the first down.
Yeah, Malcolm Johnson has been a very dependable receiver all year, and this is his favorite route, that curl route. He'll go down 8-12 yards and get turned. Big receiver at 6'5" against Bostic at 5'9". He uses his body as a shield. It's like a rebounder.
And the Irish take a timeout, stops the clock at 1:26 in the second quarter. They're down 14. Irish trailing 21-7, have a couple of timeouts remaining and 1:26 left in the second quarter. First down at their own 42-yard line. Jackson Plenty of time, and across the middle, finding a spot wide open, Malcolm Johnson sitting down right in the middle of the zone and taking it for 21 yards before he's tackled by Travaris Tillman.
Yeah, well, Malcolm Johnson is the best Irish receiver over the middle. Bobby Brown is their best receiver after the catch, and right now they need some yardage after the catch.
Jackson in the gun, first down. High, brought in by Nelson. Despite the hit from Jamar Clark, nice catch by Rockeye Nelson, the junior from Harrisburg, PA.
So what an emotional lift it would be, particularly if they can get, and not just scoring points, but get in the end zone. I mean, trailing by 14 points.
They're in their 2-minute offense. 1:08 on the clock.
Yeah, with 2 timeouts, it's plenty of time. He need not even rush himself.
First down at the Tech 27 from the gun. Jackson, swing pass. I don't think Goodspeed looked up. He was coming out of the backfield. Jackson had it on its way before he even turned his head around.
He was not expecting it. Certainly not expecting it that early in the pattern. He's up here at Goodspeed number 45. His head's not even turned. And Jarius Jackson appeared to be a little bit of upset, as he should be. I mean, anytime you're a receiver in a route, you have to be expecting the ball.
Stops the clock with an even minute remaining. Jackson on the sacks, a -15 rushing.
But, you know, here's where they really used him in quarterback draws a lot of time in the past.
Tech with a blitz. Jackson overshoots everyone on the pass play, stopping it at 56 seconds. It'll be third down.
Yeah. Jim Coletto turning the playboard over, looking for a new play.
Not a good sign.
Yeah, it's not. Bostic on the blitz. But again, you know, these third down situations in the past, you've had to worry about Jarius Jackson as a runner. I don't think the Georgia Tech defense has to worry about that right now. I think Jarius Jackson may have to use a timeout. He's got 7 seconds left on the play clock. They look a bit confused.
Play clock to 1, and Jackson calls the timeout.
Yeah, that was not a good use of that timeout.
Second team timeout.
Well, Jarius Jackson, as you know, sprained his right knee against LSU on November 21st. Playing today, but with a brace.
And he just hasn't really been himself, it looks like. I mean, although that's good pass rush, the pass this year has been able to escape those kind of plays, making something out of nothing. And again, you know, he was only sacked 9 times coming in today's game. Been sacked 3 times already, as you mentioned, Tom, and that's very, very unusual. I really believe he's been affected. He has not run an option play, and no quarterback draws. It's looks like the Ron Powlus kind of offense rather than the Jarius Jackson offense.
He has hit 5 of 8 on this drive. He'll need another on the big third down play coming up. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
Well, Thomas, Jarius Jackson came over to the sideline. He was very annoyed with the people sending in the plays. They sent in the wrong signals. Bob Davie also very annoyed, not only on the play where the ball was thrown to the wrong place in the end zone, but he didn't get to play the proper call in for that play, forcing him to take a timeout. They've tried to calm things down here. They have the play right now, and they'll attempt it again.
He's turning over that sheet, remember?
Yeah, he was turning over that sheet. But Jim's right. I mean, you know, the use of that, misuse of that timeout could really hurt you. They still have 1 remaining, but they should have 2.
3rd and 10.
Can't take a sack here if you're Jarius Jackson.
Tech with the pressure. Jackson steps up, fires. Incomplete, broken up, intended for Malcolm Johnson. Jason Bostic and Brian Wilkins knocked it away.
Boy, Tom, was there a big hole there for Jarius to run? And once again, I know we've said it a couple times, the knee, it really affected. There is a tremendous hole for him to run for a first down. And, you know, and here's the good coverage.
Lucky it wasn't intercepted. Instead, it'll be a 44-yard Sanson field goal attempt. Placement's down. The kick by Sanson did not get there. No good. So the Irish get a drive going before halftime, but it results in no points. And it illustrated right at the very end, I think, the immobility of Jarius Jackson.
Boy, absolutely. There's no doubt that his knee is affecting their game plan and his play. Now, 45 seconds remaining. Georgia Tech has 3 timeouts remaining, up by 14. You know, the way they played offense, I'd let them have at it. I'd let them go.
I have a question for you for Notre Dame's second half. Bob Davie told us that backup quarterback Arnaz Battle would play. Would you bring him right back to try to get a spark to your offense?
Well, I still think Jarius Jackson is their best chance of winning because he's the better thrower. I really believe. I think if you're going to win, you're still going to have to win it with the passing game.
Right now, the first priority is stopping Tech for the final 45 seconds. Handoff to Rogers, Philip Rogers. Got a couple of yards.
Well, apparently Ralph Region thinks differently than I, and that's why he's the offensive coordinator. I'm up here with you, but he's going to let the clock run out.
He has a 21-7 lead in the closing seconds of the second quarter. Davie, the former defensive coordinator, has seen a varied Tech offense thrown at his team today. It's been really a thing of beauty if you're an offensive-minded player to see all the twists and turns of that Georgia Tech offense.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of Notre Dame's opening game. They played poorly in the second half and great in the first half and great in the second half, and they're going to need to do this in their last game of this season.
So George O'Leary and the Yellow Jackets go to halftime with a 21-7 lead on Notre Dame, and let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much. Bob, let me ask you about Jarius Jackson, his immobility. Has that cost you here in the first half?
I don't think so. I think Jarius may have had a couple opportunities he could have run the ball. But more than Jarius's injury right now, it's our pass protection. You know, we got ourselves in a situation where we're throwing the ball so much. So we got to get back and settle down at halftime, be able to run the ball a little bit more, and that all starts with playing better defense. But there's a couple opportunities Jarius could have run, but we got to do a better job protecting.
Arnaz Battle at all quickly in the second half?
Yeah, I think we may play Arnaz a little bit. You know, we thought about putting him in a little bit at the first half, but we're probably trying to throw the ball a little bit too much. We need to settle down. There's a lot of football left in the second half.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Back upstairs to you, Tom.
All right, at halftime, Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame 21-7. Coming up next, Hannah Storm at our New York studio with the Sun America halftime report. That's after a message from Notre Dame and Georgia Tech. Welcome back. The Toyota Gator Bowl at halftime with Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame 21-7. And for Bob Davie and the Irish at halftime, Pat, there had to be some answers sought, actually on both sides of the ball, how to stop this Georgia Tech offense and get some going for themselves.
Yeah, you're right. I think Joe Hamilton in particular, the first half was just remarkable. He's done just about everything. You know, he's run the ball, he's thrown the ball, he even caught a pass for a touchdown. Let's go back to that. Their first score was actually his first catch of the year. You know, that drive had a little bit of everything. He's a smart player, knows exactly where the first down markers are. Dove for the first down there. He really has done everything. Pitched the ball well. But I think really the key, as you mentioned, is Notre Dame gets the opening half kickoff here in the second half. What they do in that opening drive sets the tone for the entire second half, and I think it's a very, very important one.
Take a look at our halftime stats, and as you might imagine, Georgia Tech would dominate those. And they had 250 total yards to 129 for Notre Dame, and ran 40 plays to the Irish 28. And before we get the second half underway, let's go down to Jim Gray.
Team Notre Dame has been very successful in the third quarter. They've outscored their opponents 94-27.
Well, I know that, and I tell you, it's 0-0, and you know we gotta keep the fight on, keep the pressure on, and do what we have to do to win this football game. And they need to do what they have to do.
It was almost a perfect half for you, wasn't it?
Well, we had that penalties hurt us a couple bit, but we're executing and doing the right things.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, back upstairs to you, Tom.
Thank you, Jim, and Bob Davie and the green-clad Irish trying to get something going. And we ended the first half with a discussion about Jarius Jackson. His obvious problems with that knee brace has taken away a good part of his game. And if you remember, Jim Gray talked to Bob Davie just before halftime, and he said they probably will try Battle, but Jackson was still their man.
Yeah, and if you see Arnaz Battle, which, again, Bob Davie told us that you will see more option plays. Arnaz Battle is not the thrower that Jarius Jackson is, but he is a very good runner, and you will see more option plays with Arnaz Battle. They need a spark, and it's going to start on this opening drive. Very, very important drive for them.
battle. The freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana, may see action in the second half. In fact, we expect him to, but probably not this opening series. Number 31, Darcy Levy, awaits the second half kickoff.
And Bob Davie thinks he has a chance to break a long play on a kickoff return. This would be an opportune time for his team.
And Williams gets the second half underway with the kick, chasing Levy all the way back, and the kick goes through the end zone for the touchback. He boomed that one.
He went through a couple bands back there, too.
They may never find that ball.
In a tuba.
So Williams, who shanked uncharacteristically a punt earlier, buried that kickoff.
You know, Tom, I've watched this Notre Dame team all year long, and it is a team that is determined, that does not get discouraged, even though they did not play particularly well in the first half and trailed by 14. You just do not count these guys out. They've come from behind and won 5 close ball games this season.
Actually, that's been a trademark for both of these teams, hasn't it?
Yes.
Notre Dame will need a comeback here. They trailed 21-7. Brown in motion. Jackson with a handoff to Autry Denson. And Denson opens the second half by rambling all the way to the 40-yard line. The running game had almost been forgotten in the closing stage of the first half. Denson opens the second half with a 19-yard ramble.
Yeah, that wasn't only a run, that was a statement. That was a statement by Bob Davie and Autry Denson that we're going to run the ball at Georgia Tech this second half, even if you're down 14. They got a good move early in the run, picks up a nice block by Luke Pettigrew, and then the last 6 or 7, 8 yards really were all Autry Denson after that initial hit.
First down, the ball at the 39-yard line. Denson again picking his way forward. And this time the Georgia Tech proves to be a bit more stingy, yielding only about 3 yards. Cameron and Robertson credit for the tackle.
Remember what Bob Davie said to Jim Gray is, hey, we want to get that running game going. And the last one was the first time they've run to the right, and that's 19-yard gain on that one. So there's a good play to their right side. But really with Autry Denson, they gave him the ball in the I formation and let him kind of pick a hole.
2nd and 7. Opening drive, 3rd quarter, 21-7 Georgia Tech. Jackson finds Johnson, and Malcolm Johnson will be close to the first down.
Hey, Malcolm Johnson does a great job of those pro routes. The only problem with that, Tom, is every time he catches it, he's not moving it. He's going to get hit, and you're going to have a nice, 10-yard gain. But, if you get him the ball when he's moving, perhaps you have a chance for a 20, 30, 40-yard gain. But still a big target. He extends the strike zone to the quarterback because he's 6'5", 215 pounds.
That's his 5th catch. He has 43 yards, and the Irish first down. Ball just short of midfield strike. I formation backfield. Autry Denson cutting back to the left. Gets to the sideline and is ridden down about the 40-yard line. Looks like he got 10 or 11 yards. Tillman chased him out again. Officially 11, and a Notre Dame first down.
Well, for 4 years, Autry Denson's been a cutback runner. And as you start 1999, he remains a cutback runner. I mean, he is sealed off the front side. You think you have a pretty good play. He feels the opening on the backside. And a good straight arm changes the ball, but that's just good sense, a good feel for the game by Autry Denson.
Denson returning to his home state for his final game at Notre Dame. He's going on to the Senior Bowl after this. He's from Lauderhill, Florida. We asked him how many friends and family members he had coming, and I don't think he knew. We asked him about twice, and he never did say. Something over 30.
Yeah.
Here's the quarterback draw, Jarius Jackson.
Well, they're not saving him in the second half.
To the 30-yard line. Maybe another first down. Tillman pinned him there.
Well, that's what Notre Dame did so well this year. But the first time they've called a designed run on the quarterback draw to Jarius Jackson. Good lead blocks. Spencer, the fullback. Morandi, the center, does a good job. And they pick up 9.5 yards.
Meanwhile, Autry Denson within 1 yard of equaling his entire first half output on this drive. Here he is on the draw play. Denson collared that time. Back to the line of scrimmage, no gain. It was Cameron that stopped him. Delonte Cameron, the senior from Arlington, Virginia.
Well, he had a good year, Tom. You mentioned he was the leading tackler, but, good pursuit here by these guys up front. Good penetration here by Carplin. Cameron, you said 90 tackles on the year, 10 tackles for losses. He got 4 sacks, an interception, forced 2 fumbles, recovered 2 others. Big year.
Played played the fiddle at halftime. 3rd and a yard. Denson. First down Notre Dame. He's to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Jerry Caldwell.
Mike Rosen, the strong tackle, All-America strong tackle for Notre Dame. He's fired up. I mean, nothing that gets an offensive lineman fired up than getting that running game going.
3rd down conversions have been rare for the Irish. That was a big one.
Yeah, and once again, I think Audrey Denson did a lot of that on his own with that cutback run. Looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss.
3 minutes gone by, 3rd quarter. Irish driving. Joey Getherall into the game now. And a wide receiver spot. Audrey Denson, the workhorse on this drive. Breaking tackles to the 10-yard line. Denson's fired up too. He got 15 on that one. He's gained more yards on this drive than he had the entire first half.
I'll tell you what, though. Jason Bostic, number 4, saves a touchdown because there was a tremendous hole inside. Morandi, the center, doing a great job right there. Ritter, 53 yards on this drive. He only had 34 in the first half. But really a hustling Jason Bostic, number 4, right there with the left arm. If he didn't get there, he scores.
He was being blocked and still made the tackle. 1st and goal, Notre Dame. The ball just inside the 10-yard line. Jackson, quarterback draw. To the wall.
Yeah, this is a different offensive philosophy, offensive calls, and certainly a different Jarius Jackson. For the 2nd time in this drive, the quarterback draw. Watch Morandi do his job, cleans up the hole. Good lead block there.
And Audrey Denson on the sideline applauds Jarius Jackson's quarterback draw. So it's like the Irish throwing caution to the wind as regards Jackson's knee here in the 2nd half. Denson, touchdown.
Well, we said this opening drive for Notre Dame was a critical one. And boy, I tell you, they came out and the offensive line did it. They used Jarius Jackson as a runner. Ritter, number 70, getting in the way there. Jabari Holloway, number 87, dominating his man, Mike Gandy. Just like Georgia Tech's offensive line, the Notre Dame offensive line really went to work on that drive.
And Denson carrying a tackler with him into the end zone. Sampson's extra point is good. Notre Dame opens the 3rd quarter with an impressive touchdown drive to narrow the margin to 7.
The 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota-thon, celebrating 20 years of incredible value. Look at the St. Johns River in downtown Jacksonville from the MetLife Blip under the command of Captains Marty Chandler and Brian Comer with help from co-pilot Snoopy. MetLife Blip has been providing aerial shots of sporting and special events since 1987. Look to the skies for Snoopy and the MetLife Blip.
You know what's unusual about the St. Johns River? It flows north.
Yeah, flows north.
There you go.
With Jacksonville, one of the largest cities and area in the United States, maybe the largest, as the Notre Dame band applauds their 10-play, 80-yard drive. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Jim Gray, Toyota Gator Bowl. 3rd quarter opens with Notre Dame getting back into it. They trail 21-14. Smith's kick is a short one, taken by one of the up men and returned to about the 27-yard line. It was Vernon Johnson.
Maybe a fumble. There may have been a fumble.
Notre Dame thinks they have it.
Oh, yeah, it's a fumble.
And they do.
You know, a real short kick up front. I think it was Virgil Johnson, number 39 for Georgia Tech. You know, didn't signal for a fair catch, which you can on a kick.
And then Tony Driver, the defensive back and sometimes tailback, number 25, wrestled it away.
You know, the 2nd half opens up exactly the way you want from Notre Dame. There's the recovery there or takeaway by Driver.
That was impressive.
Wow.
Driver just snatched it out of his arms.
Man, interesting turn of events.
Georgia Tech, if you just joined us, dominating the first half with brilliant offense. Quick drop, Jackson. Nice snag
by the fingertips of Bobby Brown.
Well, that's two by Bobby Brown, right on the fingertips. Kind of that bubble screen that Purdue has run so well the last few years. The slot man, Bobby Brown, takes kind of a little release. It's almost a run, really. You get a block by a wide receiver, but twice Bobby Brown has made real good adjustments to the ball in the air.
2nd and 1 after that 9-yard reception by Brown, and the Irish continue to play. Inspired football will open the second half. 2 tight ends. To Denson, and just caught by a shoe top. Jason Bostic saved another touchdown.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, again, Denson is gone, if not by the saving tackle by Jason Bostic. Boy, this third quarter has been a big quarter for Notre Dame this year. Jim Gray was talking to George O'Leary about it. They've scored 94 points. You see the kind of turnaround they had from a year ago. Boy, their special teams put their offense in exceedingly good position.
From the 11, 1st and 10. Spencer, the lone setback. Jackson, quarterback draw. Takes a pretty good hit. Ridden down about the 4-yard line by Justin Robertson.
Well, Jarius Jackson's not worried about next week, is he?
Or next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was almost like the old Statue of Liberty play that you used to run the backyard, Tom. Not this well, I might add. But good lead block there by 33, Jamie Spencer. And a determined run by Jackson. He looks like Autry Denson.
Speaking of Denson, who was out of the game on that play, he's closing in now on 100 yards, 94 yards rushing. He had 54 the last drive. High formation. Denson, the tailback. Gets the handoff. Dancing his way. And stopped by the Tech defense at about the 2-yard line. Delonte Cameron, bottom of the stack for the Yellow Jacket D.
Well, the Yellow Jacket D needs to make a play on this third down, change the momentum a little bit, and force at least a field goal attempt. This is a critical down with Georgia Tech defense.
Here's the man who fumbled to set up this Notre Dame drive. That's Johnson. And Tony Driver, who had the takeaway. 3rd down and a yard. Irish can pick up a first down. From the eye. Denson. Falling forward, close to the first down.
Boy.
Tarplin wrapped him up.
And Tarplin believes they got a fumble. But he was down, and this one's going to be close. This is going to be an interesting mark as well. Saw one in the first quarter.
They'll bring out the chains. They might have stopped him thanks to the efforts of Jesse Tarplin, the senior defensive end from Decatur, Georgia.
Who almost went to Notre Dame. His first recruiting trip was to South Bend.
He really enjoyed his visit. In fact, a high school teammate from Decatur Cross Keys High School had hosted him at Notre Dame. And
yeah, 4th down.
All right, it'll be 4th down and about a foot.
They're going to go for it. I think he kicks it. No, he's going to go.
Well, they've been so inspired. They've been playing with such emotion. Perhaps even if he made a field goal, it would detract some ways from that emotion that's carried them so far. And he's saying to his offensive line, if you can't give my guy a foot.
Yep. Well, he's got a determined runner in Autry Denson and an offensive line that's come alive in this second half.
6 of 17 4th down conversions this season. Split backs, Denson and Spencer. Jackson.
He got the first. He got a good mark.
Justin Robertson stopped him, but it looks like it'll be 1st and goal. Let's see. I don't know. The spot.
Yeah, 2 different spots from both sides. The far guy spotting, the far official gave him the first down. The near side was actually putting the ball down. I'm not so sure. Yeah, the near spot, they may not have gotten it.
Well, O'Leary's defense did the job on these last couple of downs anyway. If they got it, it wasn't by much.
Yeah, I saw 2 different officials. One from the near side, one from the far. The far side official gave him a good spot. That would have been a first down. The near side, I'm not so sure.
Chains will stretch out. And Notre Dame has it by half the length of the football. 1st and goal.
Watch the offensive line. Good surge. Good defensive penetration. Justin Robertson, the middle linebacker, number 58, making a play. Just got a good spot in the first down.
Ball just inside the Georgia Tech 2. Notre Dame trailing 21-14, first and goal. Autry Denson bouncing to the outside. Not a good decision. Lost a yard. Chris Edwards made sure he didn't get outside.
This is a very quick, aggressive Georgia Tech defense. He's down here. He fills the hole and then makes the tackle. Gets some help from Nate Stimson as well, number 56. Yeah, and Bob Davis saying, hey, that's supposed to be an inside play. You should run it inside, not bounce everything outside. Yeah, this Tech defense, which has forced so many fumbles and big plays, they need one now.
Second and goal. Option. First of the day for the Irish. Jackson scores.
Georgia Tech has not touched the ball this second half offensively.
That's one way to stop them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Great opening drive by Notre Dame, then the turnover, they convert that as well. And as you mentioned, Tom, the first option play called by Notre Dame does not pitch the ball much on their option plays. Jarius Jackson has a strong tendency to keep the ball on their options.
Sanson for the PAT.
Sanson with the extra point to tie. Blocked.
They go return for 2 points.
Tech blocked it. It was Kofi Smith that got the penetration to block the point, and Georgia Tech retains the lead. A little bit of everything here in the third quarter at the Toyota Gator Bowl. 21-20, thanks to Smith's block of the PAT. Kofi Smith, number 43, blocked the extra point to make it a one-point game.
Yeah, he's right there. Got his left hand up. Georgia Tech has had a real good year in a variety of ways on special teams. There's Kofi Smith, backup defensive back.
And Hunter Smith ready to kick off for Notre Dame. With Des White and Sean Gregory, the deep men for Georgia Tech.
And ball fair catch here.
Short kick, remember that one.
Yeah.
Proved to be Tech's undoing. And this time they hold on to the football short of the 30, only a 4-yard return. Tomorrow night on NBC.
You are going down. You will not get in my way for a second.
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Val Kilmer. Heat premieres on NBC Sunday at 8, 7 Central.
That's the action-packed premiere of Heat tomorrow night. First play from scrimmage for the Yellow Jackets in the third quarter with 7:16 left. Hamilton on the option with a pitch. Oh, Notre Dame defended that one well.
Brock Williams.
Woo. Joe Burns upended by Brock Williams, who played the option about as well as you can. Still a couple of yards gained.
But Brock Williams, number 38, he's going to come in from way down here, but he is being blocked down here at the bottom of the screen. And then he makes a great play on Joe Burns. And this game's been heating up as the receivers, defensive backs going after one another.
Hamilton on second down, stands in the pocket, finds a man wide open. Charlie Rogers has a Georgia Tech first down.
And that's what you want to do, just a first down at least, just to kind of stop the bleeding, Tom, you know what I mean? I mean, Notre Dame's, the momentum clearly has changed, and maybe you're not even thinking about, hey, I need a big play or a touchdown. I want to get a first down. Well, they eked out a first down in their first possession, and perhaps slowed Notre Dame down just a little bit. Once again, Charlie Rogers used in a variety of ways. That time as a receiver right over the middle. Now back to the wishbone.
Triple option play. Hamilton still has it. To midfield. And a nice gain on the triple option from the wishbone. Deveron Hopper making a second consecutive tackle. Look at that, only the third play of the second half for Georgia Tech.
You know, you have to be able to win. I think if you're really going to be a good team in 3 different ways: offensively, defensively, and with your special teams. And both of these teams have demonstrated this year the ability to do that, particularly Georgia Tech on defense and with their special teams. But right now, Joe Hamilton, you know, just needs to get this team settled and get that drive going again.
Again, they line up in the wishbone. And off to Charlie Rogers. And Rogers with a jacket first down. He's to the 34-yard line, stopped by Jimmy Friday. Tech averaging 35.5 points a game. One of the best in college football and a Georgia Tech record.
Well, they scored, 50 touchdowns this year, but they're not going to really touch their 19-18 team that averaged 66 points a game, coached by John Heisman.
George O'Leary hasn't done too badly with his high-scoring outfit, and Charlie Rogers now with 8 carries, 66 yards. Here's Joe Burns. Burns with a nice run. He's inside the Irish 40-yard line, and Lamont Bryant makes the tackle, but Notre Dame, as we saw in the first half, having trouble stopping this very Georgia Tech offense.
You mentioned, well, this is a draw play and a shotgun. Again, one more trick up Ralph Friedgen's sleeve. And good blocking there, Chris Brown and Noah King, Craig Page.
King limping off the field, replaced by Jason Burks. Hamilton sacked. Bobby Howard trapping Joe Hamilton, the elusive one, and getting him down for a big loss.
Well, Autry Denson was voted the most valuable player by his teammates earlier this year, but Bobby Howard, number 27, has been incredibly valuable to the Irish on defense. I mean, if they have a leader, it is Bobby Howard. A quiet leader that just kind of gets the job done game in and game out.
Senior from Rand, West Virginia. Winner of the Newt Rockney Student Athlete Award.
Big play here for Georgia Tech.
It's 3rd and 10. Hamilton wings it for the end zone. Has a man. Caught. Touchdown. Des White. Welcome home, Des. 44 yards.
The 10th touchdown catch by Des White. 5 of them have been for over 50 yards. Just shy of that. 44 yards, and Joe Hamilton, a lot like Jarius Jackson, so calm in the pocket. Started with good protection. Des White has had some phenomenal games. A little out and up move on Ty Good. Well thrown ball. Deke Cooper couldn't get there in time, so he drops it in. Joe Hamilton drops it in right between the safety and the corner. Well thrown ball.
Already set the Tech record for receiving yards and returning to his hometown with his 10th touchdown catch. Chambers' extra point is good. Hamilton with the strike to Des White. And Tech regains command. Now up 28-20. Tom Hammond, Pat Hayden, Jim Gray, Toyota Gator Bowl, 3rd quarter, 3:42 left. Notre Dame had made it a 1-point game after trailing by 14 at one point until this touchdown pass by Georgia Tech.
And watch how the ball dropped in right in between the safety and the corner there. A well-thrown ball by Joe Hamilton. Des White, there's the out move, then the up. Free safety didn't get there in time because it was a perfect trajectory thrown by Joe Hamilton. Great throw, great catch.
And Des White, who is from the Jacksonville area, with his 10th touchdown reception of the season. So Georgia Tech ahead now 28-20.
What a game.
And a good game. And Williams is set to kick it off. Levy, the deep man for the Irish. Levy takes it a yard deep, picked it up on the rebound. And will be stopped just across the 10-yard line. Des White had that 44-yard touchdown reception a moment ago. The sophomore split end is home for the Gator Bowl. He enjoyed a standout high school career at the Bowles School in nearby Orange Park. This week, White was able to pay a visit to his old school with some of his new friends, as it was Georgia Tech's practice site for today's Toyota Gator Bowl game.
And he's just really learning how to be a wide receiver, Tom. You know, he was a running back at Bowles School and a very good one. Second year as a wide receiver, and he's dropped some balls, but boy, he's had a big career in the touchdown department. Big year, 10 of them.
Now the Irish must answer, beginning at their own 12-yard line. Audrey Denson on the handoff, stop for a loss, back to the 10-yard line. Loss of 2 as Delonte Cameron makes the big defensive play. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Tom. Well, Jarius Jackson on the touchdown that he scored down here in the other end zone tweaked his knee a little bit on that play. I spoke to him. Says it's a little jumpy now with all the running that he's done here in the second half. It's not totally stable. It's okay. He said he will continue, but clearly it's given him a little bit of trouble, particularly after that touchdown. Tom?
All right, Jim. Jackson, who is listed as a senior, does have the option and will exercise it to apply to Notre Dame for another year of eligibility. So everyone expecting him to come back under center for the Irish next season. Nice move at the line of scrimmage by Audrey Denson, and he has a first down across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Well, that lead draw, he has run so well. We'll talk about the feel. I mean, he's got, you know, a sense of where the defenders are and the angles that he has to take. Morandi again, a good block. Good block also by the right guard. It was Tim Ritter, I believe. But again, just a real good feel, particularly running this lead draw. Everybody just kind of takes the defensive man where they want to go, and then Audrey Denson decides where he's going to take the ball.
13 carries, 74 yards in the third quarter for Denson. Here he is again. Not much that time. Back to the line of scrimmage and twisted down by Tony Robinson. Audrey Denson now with 110 yards rushing thanks to this big third quarter, and to score a pair of touchdowns.
Well, he scored 2 against Georgia Tech in last year's game, and you know, we've talked about his durability, his consistency. He doesn't fumble the ball much. And he doesn't tuck in his shirt much.
Playing in his home state from Lauderhill, Florida, Nova High School. Jarius Jackson to the tight end Holloway. Holloway rambles close to an Irish first down.
Ooh, that's the first catch by Jabari Holloway today. Take that back. It is his second. A guy they don't use much, but generally when he's catching it, it is a very effective kind of play. About 2 touchdowns. They come from behind win against Purdue. Good lead blocker. They don't give him any chances, but when they do, he certainly takes advantage of it.
He's a Georgia native playing against Georgia Tech from Riverdale, Georgia. That one was good for 11 yards, and Holloway nets an Irish first down. Clock ticking toward 1 minute remaining third quarter. Tech up 28-20. Play action fake. Jackson all day. And now finally getting away from the rush, fighting for yardage. And Jackson finally to the 45-yard line, tracked down by Jesse Tarplin.
But has he looked completely different the second half than he did the first? Now, he almost fumbled that ball at one point, but I mean, this is the Jarius Jackson Notre Dame fans have seen all year long. Great protection, but great coverage. There's absolutely nobody open. Then he avoids the first rush. Now watch, he's going to bobble the ball here as it gets hit. Strong hands prevents the fumble, and made a nice little gain of 8 yards.
They had the receivers blanketed, though. Do you think it took him that first half to gain confidence in his knee?
Well, I think at halftime he said, "There's nothing left to lose. Let's get it done."
Play action fake, man open, catch made. Jay Johnson with a big play for Notre Dame. Jamar Clark tracked him down to 27 yards. Only the 5th catch of the season for the junior from Starkville, Mississippi.
But like Jabari Holloway, Jay Johnson's catches have always been important ones. I mean, he caught a couple on 4th downs this year. Again, against Clark. You know, the way he just kind of snatched the ball, that's good hands. Didn't use his body, didn't bobble the ball. Ball thrown on a line drive, so the safety can't make a play. And that's a real good throw and a real good catch by Jay Johnson.
Mississippian to Mississippian. Jarius Jackson from Tupelo and Jay Johnson from Starkville. That play brings the third quarter to a close. It ends with Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame 28-20 at the Toyota Gator Bowl. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Ready for the fourth quarter in the 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl from Jacksonville. Georgia Tech leading Notre Dame 28-20, but the Irish driving 1st and 10 with the ball at the Tech 28-yard line. Jackson with a handoff to Denson. Inside the 25 to the 24-yard line, tackled by Merrick's Watson. Here are the third quarter stats.
A good offensive game, really, by both teams. I mean, you know, this has been a game dominated by Georgia Tech earlier on, then some good second half offense and special teams by Notre Dame, and we're going to have a very interesting fourth quarter.
Sounded like a Notre Dame stadium here before we started the fourth, with the Irish band playing Tchaikovsky's 1812 overture. Trying to rally the Irish, who at one time trailed by 14. Dempsey stopped just short of the 20-yard line.
Well, he got 3 yards out of nothing there, Audrey Dempsey. It looked like he was going to lose yards, maybe 2 or 3 yards. It looked like he was going to bounce it outside, and then boom, he cuts it right back inside and picks up some yardage. And then he's getting ready to bounce. Nope, not there. And then just breaks a tackle. I mean, it's only a 2 or 3 yard run time, but that is a very good 2 or 3 yard run.
Sets up a third down and about 3 yards to go. The Irish have converted only 2 of 8 today.
There's some movement. There's some movement. Called an audible, and there was some movement. And so instead of 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, we're going to get 3rd and 8. That's a very big penalty. Yeah, sure does.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, 5 yards. Remains 3rd down.
Well, I believe it was up here. It's Dan O'Leary, I think one of the tight ends, number 86. Yep, he was moving. Yep. Now, you know, Notre Dame this second half has been very successful running the quarterback draw and a quarterback power play. This would be an opportune time for them to do it again.
So 3rd and 8 now from the 26-yard line. Jackson scrambles for time, but his pass comes up short, intended for Brown.
Oh, there's a flag.
And there's that's back where Jackson was, in a little Rosenthal in the middle of a little scrum with some Georgia Tech defenders.
Now I think that's a bad call. They would have called that on Nate Stimson. Nate Stimson was getting up, and they said he roughed up Jarius Jackson. I think that's a bad call myself. This is, you know, Jarius Jackson does a great job of knowing the situation of the game. You're in field goal range. You cannot take a sack here and get yourself out of field goal range. Just get rid of it. And that's not the penalty. It's going to come up later. If you,
after the play,
it's after the play.
Late hit, personal foul, defense.
Now, see,
half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
I think that's a real bad call. It was late in that, I just don't think that's a penalty.
I disagree. I think there was no need for him to throw Jackson down on the ground.
I think he was just getting up.
Just get yourself untangled, though. There's no need for that.
Well, I'm going to call a 10-yard penalty on you then.
Half the distance.
But a critical penalty against Georgia Tech.
In any event, don't make the referee, don't force him to make that decision. I mean, just take a breath and disentangle yourself. The situation is too volatile, and your team needs you to make a play. Take a timeout and be right back. Georgia Tech's Nate Stimson called for the personal foul, which has given Notre Dame an excellent scoring opportunity.
Well, and here's the play again. That was not the penalty. It was really after he got up. I disagree with you, Tom. I still think it was not a penalty, but nonetheless, they called it. Here's the play there. That's what they say that was unnecessary roughness, and George O'Leary also disagrees with you, Tom.
Thank you for pointing that out. He disagrees with the official, too, and as you see, in no uncertain terms.
He's got some Irish in him.
Yeah. Well, the Irish in green, that is, have a first down, 10 yards to go from the 13 of the Yellow Jackets. Autry Denson looking for a block in the corner, stumbling his way to the 5-yard line. Ball came free, but after he was down.
Boy, is Autry Denson good in close quarters? You know, right when it looks like someone's going to stop him, you know, he puts on a little bit of a move or just makes you just get a slight hit on him so he can pick up another 5-6 yards. It looked like Clark, number 1, was going to get him right there, but he just kind of sidesteps him and picks up another 6.
The all-time leading ground gainer for the Irish, now with 126 yards rushing in this Gator Bowl game. 2nd and 2. Here's Denson to the 1. And stopped just short of the goal line. Delonte Cameron once again saving the touchdown for the Tech defense.
Yeah, not only give Autry Denson some credit, but once again give that Notre Dame offensive line some credit. Good lead block by Jamie Spencer, number 33, and he just runs right through the tackle of Cameron. Now look at the size of Mike Rosenthal, number 79, blocking. A little smile at the end. There's a little size disadvantage. Mike Rosenthal's had a really strong second half here.
And chosen on some All-American teams. 1st and goal for Notre Dame from the 1-yard line of Georgia Tech. Autry Denson for the touchdown. His 3rd of the game.
They should go for 2, I believe. Yeah, they're going to go for 2 points. Notre Dame will go for 2, a thing they have not done a lot of this year.
They have gone for a 2-point conversion on 3 occasions this season and have succeeded once.
And the other interesting point, Georgia Tech has only had 1 2-point play attempt against them, and that was against Georgia. They stopped them, and that happened to be the margin of victory.
So it's 28-26. Notre Dame will go for 2. The only setback is Jamie Spencer. Jackson under center. Pitches it complete, and the 2-point conversion is good. Bobby Brown with the conversion catch, and the game is tied at 28.
What a good game. I mean, we've had a little bit of everything. A lot of offense. And some good special teams. The touchdown first to Autry Denson. And then the 2-point play to Bobby Brown. His 3rd catch of the day. Good patience in the pocket by Jarius Jackson. Leans over the defense and Bobby Brown hugs the ball for the 2-point play. And we're tied at 28.
The 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl is brought to you by Toyota. Get the most out of the new year every day.
The MetLife Blimp, Snoopy 1, cruising above Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, providing aerial coverage of the Toyota Gator Bowl. Blimp traveling over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials across the U.S. and Canada. MetLife wishing everyone a Happy New Year. And boy, hasn't this been a Happy New Year bowl game to get us started.
Boy.
28-28, and Notre Dame has been unstoppable in the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter, the early stages.
Yeah, with 30 plays they've run and 3 touchdowns. I mean, they've had a big special teams play, and the offense has been magnificent.
There's the kickoff through the hands of Sean Gregory. Finally picks it up. Ball is loose. Scramble for it. Johnny Sanders knocked it loose. Sanders.
Georgia Tech recovered. That's almost a tremendous play from Notre Dame's 2nd special teams play of the half.
Tony Driver, remember, earlier took one away on a kickoff, and Notre Dame turned it into a touchdown. There's the hit. Sanders put his helmet right on the ball. Tech was lucky to get it back. It was recovered by Watley. Gregory had trouble with that one from the start, didn't he?
Yeah, well, it was kind of one of those deep, low squib kicks. That's a good hit by a Johnny Sanders. Helmet right on the ball. Well, Joe Hamilton has handled a lot of adversity this year.
He's been the comeback magician, leading comeback wins against Georgia, Clemson, Virginia. They trailed Virginia by 21. Hand off to Philip Rogers. Couple of tough yards across the 10. Legree, the tackle for Notre Dame.
And again, I think if you're Georgia Tech, you just think, but hey, let's get the 1st down first. Only eight plays this second half. Let's get the first down, and even if you don't, score on this drive, you give your punter some field position to be able to get rid of the punt. But get the first down first.
That shows you how big the turnaround has been in this second half. 2nd and 7. Hamilton changing the play. Short drop. Pass dropped by Matt Vay.
The drop passes continue to plague Georgia Tech. Good audible. Saw the blitz. Did Joe Hamilton. Smart play. A lot of men crowding the line of scrimmage. You get the ball, you're tight end in the flat. Perfect throw. Absolute perfect throw.
Also Matt Vay, redshirt freshman.
Big play right now for Georgia Tech.
3rd down and 7 from their own 12-yard line in a tie game.
They're going to call a timeout. Joe Hamilton wants to be sure.
So Tech takes the timeout. They're second in this half. That leaves them with only one timeout for the last 11 minutes of the game. 28-28 at the Toyota Gator Bowl. Next on NBC Sports, enjoy Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular with Brian Boitano, Christy Yamaguchi, Brian Orser, and Lou Chen. Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular next on NBC. 3rd and 7, Georgia Tech with their own 12-yard line marking the line of scrimmage. Hamilton's in the shotgun formation. Notre Dame backs out of a blitz. Hamilton completes the pass. Rodgers has the first down.
Big play. Again by Joe Hamilton. In Charlie Rodgers. And Charlie Rodgers can hurt you in a lot of different ways, and so can Joe Hamilton. First thing Joe Hamilton does is doing a great job of avoiding the rush. Good outside pressure by Corey Minor. Number 4 steps inside the block of John Carmen and then finds the wide open Charlie Rodgers in the flat.
In your QB days, how frustrating was it to have a receiver not know where the first down was? Rodgers knew exactly what he had to get for the first. Hamilton falls down as he hands to Rodgers, and Philip Rodgers 3 yards before he's thrown back by Bobby Howard in the center of the Irish defense.
Well, what we haven't seen much of this second half from Georgia Tech is the option play. They haven't had a lot of plays either, but a lot of times a quarterback stumbles when a guard or a center steps on the quarterback's foot. It looks like a clumsy quarterback, but often it is a lineman stepping on the quarterback's foot that leads him to trip, but nonetheless he got the exchange.
Joe Hamilton, 11 of 17 through the air in this game, 174 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Here's the option, and the pitch to Rodgers. Charlie Rodgers, defensed fairly well by Notre Dame, led by Corey Minor.
Corey Minor's had a strong second half for the Irish.
It's going to bring up another 3rd down as the Yellow Jackets look to win their 5th straight bowl game. Notre Dame riding a 3-game bowl losing streak there, the last 4 wins for the Yellow Jackets.
George O'Leary has done a great job with this program, particularly the last 2 years. And they're going to be good next year.
They are indeed. Trying to convert this 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Hamilton, touch pass complete. Charlie Rodgers picking his way for another Georgia Tech first down.
Well, twice on 3rd downs they've thrown the ball short of the first down marker to Charlie Rodgers, which tells you they have a lot of confidence in his ability to do something after the catch. Now, he's the back right here. He's going to bounce off a guy. Gilbo catches the ball short of the first down. And ordinarily that's bad offense. You never want to throw the ball short of the first down markers, but they have extreme confidence in Charlie Rodgers and his ability after he catches the ball.
Mr. Do Everything now has 4 catches for 52 yards, has run the football as well. Charlie Rodgers, number 3. He had Wilder ripping off yardage to the 40. Remember now, this play began deep in Georgia Tech territory, and Bob Davies' defense unable to hold him down there so far.
I mean, Notre Dame's offense this second half has been terrific. Georgia Tech's offense really has been good all game long. And George O'Leary right now, ideally with 8:42 remaining in the ball game, you'd like a long drive that uses as much of the clock as you can, and then you score a touchdown, put it out of reach.
The only way Notre Dame has been able to stop Georgia Tech really is keep the ball away from it. Option, pitch to the tailback, Rogers. Charlie Rogers, another Georgia Tech first down at the 45-yard line. He's tackled by Anthony Weaver.
A good little block by Des White, the wide receiver, allowed Charlie Rogers to get that first down. And again, down here, watch the receivers block down here on the option play. I mean, Des White's the guy in the slot here. He does his thing. He kicks that defender out, and then Charlie Rogers is allowed to cut inside him, and that allows him to pick up the first down. So good wide receiver blocking.
Two of the best bands in college football on display here today, and two of the great fight songs. Play action fake, and Hamilton going deep. Has his man. It's Des White racing for the end zone, and the touchdown. 11th touchdown catch of the season for Des White. His second of the game. It covered 55 yards.
In his 6th touchdown catch of 50 yards or longer. And this is what Notre Dame doesn't have, is that big play capability in the passing game. They've been very good the second half, but methodical. Georgia Tech can knock you out with big plays.
Now 4 catches, 129 yards, and a pair of touchdowns for Des White. Chambers with the extra point. Got it.
Wow.
And Georgia Tech right on its average with 35 points.
Oh, my. Oh, my. Watch out for that 222-0 score over Cumberland. Oh, good move. I mean, on both touchdown plays that Des White has had, he has put tremendous move. One was an out and up. Remember that?
Right.
That one he kind of faked a corner and ran the post. So good moves set up the catch. And once again, the protection. This is as good an offensive team as I've seen this year. We've seen some good ones.
And what about Joe Hamilton?
Boy,
is he something?
He's so calm. And again, a lot like Jarius Jackson in the pocket. Nothing seems to disturb him. Neither quarterback gets discouraged. Notre Dame is a team that perseveres. With 7:55 remaining, 3 timeouts down by 7. This is a team that has the ability to come back. They have all year.
4th 100-yard receiving game for Des White this season. And Williams is ready to kick it off for the Yellow Jackets, who have reclaimed the lead, 35-28. Irish now send Tony Driver as the deep man on this kick return for the first time. Driver, the man who has been a defensive back, a tailback, and covered a fumble that set up an Irish touchdown earlier. Taken by an up man, however. It is Givens, and David Givens is to about the 26-yard line. Tackle made there by Chris Young of Georgia Tech.
Well, this Georgia Tech defense has a theme, and it's called CPR. And it's that club punch and rip that we talked about. They need some of that right now. They need a turnover right now.
Davey and the Irish have an answer for the Georgia Tech touchdown. 35-28.
They have answered just about everything thrown at them this game and this year.
Drive begins from the 25-yard line. Jackson hands to Denson. Dances his way for a couple. Edwards made sure he didn't break free that time. Stimson was there for a piece as well.
Well, Nate Stimson, number 56, is a guy who is undersized perhaps, but he's got a lot of heart. He is a relentless type of player. You can block him, but he doesn't stay blocked. He is a smart, quick, relentless guy.
Notre Denson, who gained 34 yards in the first half, has 100 in the second. He's the tailback in the eye. Fake it to him. Jackson steps up. Now he's going to run. Fires at the last minute and overshoots his man. In fact, Johnson appeared to be open, and he threw it over his head.
Jarius Jarius Jackson was approached at halftime and said, hey, we got to have you be able to move around in the pocket and run, otherwise we're going to replace you. Good pressure from behind. That's Felipe Claybrooks again. And that caused the overthrow to Malcolm Johnson.
So it brings up a 3rd and 7 for the Irish. They've converted only 2 of 9 this afternoon. They need this one from their own 28-yard line. Trailing by 7. Blitz. Jackson down the sideline. Broken up. Intended for Johnson. Traveris Tillman knocked it down.
Well, first time they stopped Notre Dame's offense this second half, but it was an appropriate time. Jarius Jackson waiting to the last moment, tries to throw the ball over the defender's head and give his Malcolm Johnson, all 6'5" of them, a chance. Good coverage. That's a free safety, Tillman, Gardner. So he's good man-for-man coverage by a free safety.
Bostic had come on a blitz, but they picked him up. Smith's punt. Backpedaling. Retreating and going to the outside. One man to beat, Hunter Smith. And finally wrestled down at the last minute. Charlie Rogers doing his magic one more time. Joe Thomas finally chased him down. It was a 32-yard return of a 47-yard punt. And Joe Hamilton watched and enjoyed. Momentum to Tech. Some of these Holiday Bowl games have been for the Birds, but not this one. Great game. In fact, the Birds have even been in on the action today.
Yeah, they have. We'll watch that one of these pigeons actually lead the way for Charlie Rogers. He's going to come right into your screen, right in here, I think he is. There he is. And then he funnels Charlie Rogers.
Turns upfield with it.
Yeah, turns upfield, then he goes down the other end to keep nibbling. And I don't think I've ever seen a pigeon get full. They keep nibbling. And you know, all the pigeons, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? I mean, how many pigeons have you seen? You ever seen a baby pigeon?
There's squab on the menu there somewhere.
Well, look at 169 total yards by Charlie Rogers. Had 181 total yards last year.
Joe Burns. Grabbed by the ankles by Brock Williams, perhaps saving a touchdown as Burns had momentarily broken free.
Well, I tell you, Charlie Rogers, Joe Hamilton, Joe Burns, Des White, the offensive line. This has been an offensive show by Georgia Tech. And Notre Dame in the second half has been awfully good offensively. But right now, Notre Dame's defense has to find a way to force a punt. 6 minutes left in the ball game. They trail by 7.
2nd and 5 for Hamilton and Georgia Tech. Give it to Burns. Immediately hit. Falls forward for a yard.
Well, here comes one of those important 3rd down plays. They're not in field goal range, so if they can stop them here, they can force a punt. So perhaps the most important play for Notre Dame's defense. The Yellow Jackets seem to be enjoying himself.
Remember, on these 3rd down conversions, it's been Hamilton to Des White when they really needed it.
Yep.
Or Charlie Rogers.
Yep.
Charlie Rogers is who I should say. White has been the touchdown maker.
169 total yards for Charlie Rogers.
Option. Hamilton tossed as he was hit.
Oh, I think he got it. What a great pitch by Joe Hamilton.
Williams and Minor on the stop. Let's see the spot of the football.
Oh, he had Anthony Weaver draped all over him, didn't he? Joe Hamilton has thrown the ball well. Very few guys who are good option passers or option players or have good touch in their passing game. But Joe Hamilton seemingly can do both of those things.
And Rogers, he just does everything. 11 carries, 75 yards now. They'll measure here for the first down.
And just a scoop.
Wow, did not make it. Now, George O'Leary.
I think it's a bowl game. I think your offensive line is doing a pretty good job. You give it a chance. You that or you try to draw them off sides. And they are going to go for it.
4th and inches. Georgia Tech leading 35-28. Inside 5 minutes left in the Toyota Gator Bowl, and they will go for it. They have converted their only previous 4th down attempt in this game.
And part of it might be thinking, hey, our defense really hasn't slowed Notre Dame down much anyway, so we must try to keep possession.
Philip Rogers, the short yardage specialist, has checked into the game at running back. Tight formation, 4th and inches. First down, Philip Rogers diving ahead to keep the drive going.
You know, this Georgia Tech offense can give you finesse and power, and that's a unique team. You know, a lot of finesse teams, option teams, can't power it when you have to. But this offensive line can be dominating at times. They, can give good pass protection, and coaches like that kind of offensive line.
O'Leary gave his offense the vote of confidence, and they returned it by picking up the first down. Now, under 4.5 minutes showing on the clock. Rob Davey needs a big defensive play to get the ball back before any further damage is done. Option. Hamilton pulls up. Loose ball in the air, and it falls incomplete. The Irish had a couple of chances to pick it off. Intended for Burns, and 38 Brock Williams nearly had it.
You know, I have to wonder about that call. Now, Ralph Friedgen has called a great game thus far, but there's 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Throwing the ball in traffic, I don't know. I mean, run as much of this clock out as you can, or force Notre Dame to use some of its timeouts. They have 3 remaining.
Bobby Howard had a shot at it, went right through his hands. Then a jump ball, and several Irish hands grasping for it. It falls to the turf. 2nd and 10. Charlie Rogers stopped a couple of yards short of the first down.
Yeah, but now they have a chance to, they're in field goal range. I mean, they'd love to pick up the first down, but you can't have, a negative play. No sacks or a negative play here, but this counter play has been a nice change of pace for them out of the wishbone formation. They fake the ball to fullback. Good lead block there. Charlie Rogers gets a couple of extra yards out of it, a la Autry Denson.
And here's another one of those big 3rd downs. 3rd and 3 from the Irish 23-yard line. At wishbone formation. Hand to Charlie Rogers. Close to the first down, then driven back by Friday and the Irish defense.
Really short.
So it'll be 4th down coming up, and this time O'Leary apparently is going to take a timeout to talk about it or think about it.
It might be. Was it Notre Dame that maybe used it?
All right.
Notre Dame
Irish
used 1 to 3.
call.
Yep.
Irish trying to save some time. Stop it with 3:21 left.
And, this is a big decision for George O'Leary. Do you attempt the field goal to really put the game effectively out of reach, but you worry about the block? And you worry about that low trajectory kick. He looks like he's actually thinking about going for it on 4th down. Timeouts. Notre Dame just used their first. Georgia Tech has 1 remaining. It's really been interesting. Notre Dame, we have seen this year, has been a determined team that have won a lot of close ball games. 5 this year. Many of them late in the 4th quarter. But it's going to come down to this play. They're going to have to stop Georgia Tech. They can't allow a field goal. They must stop one way or another to give themselves a chance to win this ball game.
And, of course, if Tech decides to kick, they'll send Brad Chambers out there, number 13 of all numbers.
Lucky 13, yeah.
But, of course, he had the game winner with 2 seconds left against the Georgia Bulldogs.
And had a game winner a couple years ago against Clemson.
Chambers a good athlete in his own right, an all-stater. And soccer, basketball, tennis, football when he was in his high school days at Stephen County High School in Georgia, from Toccoa, Georgia. So the decision rests with George O'Leary.
They got their offensive team in.
It looks like they'll go for it on 4th down.
Yep.
4th down and about 2.
I'm going to guess that Charlie Rogers may touch the ball.
What a gambler he is.
Yeah.
really succeeded with that. Looked like the Energizer Bunny with that little motion, kept going back and forth, and Notre Dame nearly bit, but were able to get back onside.
You know what you like about it, too, because Joe Hamilton, as the quarterback, uses his left foot to try to send guys in motion. Sometimes defensive linemen think it's the offensive lineman moving, and they'll jump. But they stayed in place, and now they're still making a decision whether they're going to go for it or kick. So that was their last time out.
Well, the last time Georgia Tech beat the Irish back in 1976, it was in Atlanta at Grant Field. Al Hunter scored 2 first-half touchdowns to give the Irish a 14-3 lead. But David Sims sparked a Georgia Tech second-half comeback with a pair of touchdowns of his own, and the unranked Yellow Jackets upset the number 11 Irish 23-14. Georgia Tech did not attempt a single pass that entire game.
Yeah, a little different offense. They ran a wishbone in that game.
And Georgia Tech a slight favorite in this game today, so it would not be classified as an upset. But
here comes the kick.
It will be Chambers to attempt the field goal.
Again, what Chambers has to be concerned about is getting his ball high enough. You can't afford the block kick.
39-yard attempts. Chambers has it up. It's a low kick, and it is no good. The Irish have life yet. 3:18 left. 35-28. 3:18 left in the Toyota Gator Bowl. 35-28 after Chambers missed this field goal.
Yeah, good snap by Ross Mitchell. Good hold by Brett Basquin. It was just a clean miss by Chambers. George O'Leary on one sideline and saying, hey, what happened? Not a whole lot you can answer to that question except we just missed it. And, to be a coach in those moments. A pinch anxious. And now his team has a chance with 2 timeouts to certainly tie it and potentially win it with a 2-point play.
They start from their own 22-yard line. Jackson from the shotgun wants to run the draw. Fumble. Felipe Claybrooks knocked the ball loose, and it looked like Jamie Spencer recovered for the Irish, but a big loss on the play all the way back to the 15-yard line. That ball just came squirting out and flying through the air.
Well, that was the rip part. Remember we talked about club, punch, and rip. That was the rip part. Again, they've done this all year long. Number 97 just kind of rips it out of there. Remember, they've returned 7 fumbles for touchdowns. It's no accident. They practice it every day in practice. And then they have a drill where they say scoop and score. Watson had a chance, number 98, to recover that thing. But this is, they practice that rip. They practice scoring after the fumble recovery.
The Irish have called a timeout. They have 1 left. Now 3:01 on the clock, but it'll be 2nd down and 17 from their own 15-yard line.
And again, when Notre Dame doesn't have that kind of guy like Des White that can go the distance for you, they catch a lot of passes, but they generally get tackled after that catch. And Jim Coletto has tough calls coming up.
Don't forget, coming up next on NBC Sports, Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular with Brian, Christy Yamaguchi, Brian Orser, Lou Chen, along with jazz great Al Giro and Broadway's Linda Eder. Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular coming up next here on NBC. Jarius Jackson has been to the sideline. Brings the play back into the Irish huddle. 3:01 on the clock, 2nd and 17.
And I see the Irish have number 21, Javen Hunter, in, who's a freshman, but he's got very good speed. Wide receiver, Hunter, bottom of the screen.
Jackson chased from the pocket, fires on the run, broken up and nearly intercepted. Intended for Malcolm Johnson. Gerard Tillman, who's done a good job in the secondary all day for the Yellow Jackets, breaks that pass up.
You're right, he has in coverage. It started out with Brian Wilkins, number 16, a reserve free safety on the blitz, right up the middle, right there. Jarius Jackson did a really good job of just avoiding that, getting out of the way. And then once again, Tillman, known as a good, strong free safety as a tackler, has shown very good coverage ability this afternoon.
Well, this remarkable season for the Irish has come down to a couple of plays now. 3rd and 17 from their own 15-yard line. They trail by 7. And the Yellow Jackets, hoping a win here can propel them into the top 10 to set the stage for next year. Jackson stands in the pocket. His pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Once again, good coverage by Tillman. A patient Jarius Jackson is waiting for Malcolm Johnson to come clear on a square in. One-on-one coverage with the free safety again. No, they're punting the ball here. Okay, it is 2:50 remaining. I guess when it's 4th and forever, you've got to do it and hope your defense can create a turnover.
It's 4th and 17, so that had to impact the decision.
Yeah, if it's 4th and 10 or something, regular down situation, you throw it.
Smith punts. Charlie Rogers. Hit. Bounces off 2 would-be tacklers and finally dragged down at the 38-yard line.
Okay, good special teams play there by Notre Dame. And Bob Davies says, hey, it was 4th and 15. I'm not going to have no chance really of picking up that first down. So now it's up to my defense. I still have 1 timeout left. It's been a defense that has responded all year long in similar situations. But they can't be content to just, stop it. They have to force a turnover. That's what they really need, to force a turnover.
Georgia Tech has not won back-to-back games against AP top 20 teams since 1990. They knocked off Georgia in the last game of the regular season, ranked 12th, and now hoping to stop the 17th ranked Irish.
Well, that was their national championship year in 1990.
Run by Joe Burns.
If you're Joe Hamilton, you tell your freshman Joe Burns, you make sure you secure the ball. There's going to be a lot of guys ripping it. Notre Dame uses their last timeout.
2:30 remaining. Now Davey hoping for one more chance. That fumble recovered by the Irish, though, set them so far back that they really had no chance of picking up a first down in that last series.
Georgia Tech is so unconventional offensively that they may try anything. Ordinarily, you'd say, hey, they're going to run another fullback plunge or something in the middle of the line. But Ralph Friedgen is unconventional. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised to see Joe Hamilton even run an option play, perhaps a quarterback draw. I like the quarterback draw call a little bit better, a little less risk.
Yeah, we don't want that pitch if you're a Georgia Tech fan. That's a risky maneuver.
But a quarterback draw in that man's hands is not a bad call. Spread him out and let him do something with it.
Yellow Jackets have won 4 straight bowl games, and this is just the way it usually goes for them. Their last 2 bowl wins by a total of 6 points, and holding on here by 7 over Davie and the Irish.
Both these teams have a lot of starters returning next year and have a chances to have real good seasons.
And it'll be a big boost if they can use a New Year's Day bowl win, especially Tech, to perhaps finish in the top 10. Then you have a chance maybe to play for the national championship next year because you'd be picked in the preseason top 10 in the 99 campaign. Here's the option and the pitch. It worked successfully. Burns receiving the pitch from Hamilton. Not much of a gain, though. Lee Lafayette the stop. Or Brock Williams it was on the stop, and he managed, though, to stay in bounds. Keep the clock rolling down now toward 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was the key thing, that he stayed in bounds. Once again, a really important 3rd down where Joe Hamilton has been absolutely superb in this ball game on 3rd downs.
3rd down and 6. Option. Hamilton keeps, dives close to the first down. Let's see.
This is really going to be close.
Corey Minor had him holding on for dear life. A lunge by Hamilton. Did he get enough?
I think that with the spot, I think he's going to be a pinch short with that spot.
They're going to measure.
It will be close, though. Boy.
Why not? That's the way the whole game's been.
Yeah, you know, it really is. It's been one big exhale. You know, you talk about guys having a feel for the game. Sometimes it's, you know, running backs who've got a sense where defenders are coming from. Joe Hamilton just has this feel of when to duck into the line and when to leap for that first down. And
we'll be short by about a yard.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
So now, O'Leary.
Maybe the way they play offense.
They'll have to give Notre Dame one final chance at it.
Well, what they'll probably do is actually start the clock again, use those 25 seconds maybe, and then take a penalty. That's what they should do. The clock has been started down to 1:32. They should just, if they're going to...
Autry Denson will be the man to return the punt.
I think you ought to take a penalty here. Use the full clock.
And they're still letting the clock tick away.
Sure. That's exactly the call.
There it is.
That's the
play clock expires. They'll mark off 5 yards, which matters little at this point.
Play the game. Offense.
Again, the thing that Bob Davie faces here right now is he knows he doesn't have a big play type of capability, you know, quick strike capability in his passing game. So it makes you think, need I try to block this to give myself a short field? I mean, you know, that's a dilemma for them.
Williams, the All-American punter, will punt for Georgia Tech. And Autry Denson, the all-time leading ground gainer for the Irish, does he have one big play left in him? He's lining up very short, though. They're going to go for the block. It's like they're going to go for the block.
Absolutely.
Nobody can return now. Here they come. Williams got it away. Got it out of there, and it'll be down inside the Irish 20-yard line.
I think that was the right call, though, for Bob Davie. Knowing that he doesn't have that big play capability offensively, ends up being a 40-yard punt by Rodney Williams.
Denson had been back to receive. Then during the penalty, he came over to the sideline. He sort of tentatively ran back out there, and then at the last moment lined up close to the line of scrimmage. So it was obvious they were going for the block and not the return. Seconds left. First down Notre Dame from their own 17-yard line, trailing 35-28. Jackson from the shotgun. Flag stopping that one. It'll be a 5-yard mark-off against the Irish.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5 yards, remains first down.
And Notre Dame not making things easy on themselves.
Yeah. And a little movement up top. George O'Leary, if he can hang on and wins 10 games, potentially it's a top 10 finish for this season, a real springboard for next year.
Hamilton had it all figured out, didn't he? Finish in the top 10 this year. That means preseason top 10. That means win all your games and win the national championship. Jackson tried to buy some time, lost the football. Georgia Tech has it to the 5. Nate Stimson all over Jarius Jackson, and then Jesse Tarplin did the scoop, but not quite the score.
Good point. And what a nice finish for Jesse Tarplin, who told us yesterday he thought he lost the Notre Dame game last year by his play. They've done this all year long. Forced the fumbles with the strip and the rips, and then the scoop of the scores. Jesse Tarplin, the senior who had 9 sacks on the year, returned one fumble for a touchdown. And a big defensive play for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, it's been a good one, and George O'Leary and the Jackets about to win their 5th straight bowl game. College football's all-time winningest bowl team will have another notch to put in its holster. Thanks to Mike Enright and Greg Campbell for their spotting work today in what has been a terrific Toyota Gator Bowl football game.
And George O'Leary wins 10 games. Wins in Chapel Hill for the first time in 45 years. Beats Georgia for the first time in 8 years. ACC Coach of the Year. It's been a nice season.
This is a top 10 team. You agree?
Absolutely. They are really dynamic. They return 9 offensive starters.
And O'Leary,
yeah.
I'm not so sure I'd want to be. Look how they clear out from there, too.
Well, he did it. He did it. You know, Ralph Friedgen ought to get some of that poured on him as well.
An offensive team that averages 35 points a game finishes the game with 35, and it's enough to hold off an inspired second-half comeback by the Irish of Notre Dame. O'Leary and Davey exchange handshakes at midfield as Georgia Tech has beaten Notre Dame 35-28 to win the 1999 Toyota Gator Bowl. For Georgia Tech, their 10th win of the season against 2 setbacks. Notre Dame will wind up 9-3 on the season. What an offensive show for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, who showed all sorts of formations and plays today. And Davey, whatever he said to his team at halftime, it certainly worked because, Pat, in the second half, they were a different football team.
You know, again, Notre Dame loses this game, but I'll tell you what, they never quit, just like this team the entire season. And for George O'Leary, what a remarkable run. Wins those 10 games. You know, he is one of 8 family members. All 7 of his siblings are here. His mom is here to help celebrate with him.
So Tech wins 35-28. Next on NBC Sports, enjoy Brian Boitano's Holiday Skating Spectacular, a dazzling display on ice starring 1988 Olympic gold medalist Christy Yamaguchi and Brian Orser. So for Pat Hayden and Jim Gray, this is Tom Hammond saying so long from Jacksonville and the Toyota Gator Bowl. Georgia Tech beats Notre Dame in a great game. Happy New Year, everyone, and so long.